Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's Uncle Bruce here for September the 20th, 2021. It's Monday. Welcome, one, welcome all to the show. I was just trying to figure out a word to come up with this morning's pre market. Hang on one sec. Welcome, one, welcome all to the show. Just trying to come up with a word, one word to come up with for this morning's show. And I think I came up with it. This morning's pre-market, the word is oops. I think that's what it is. It's called oops. Yes, China rearing its ugly head yet again. And if you think this is a one-day thing, think again, kids. This is going to be around for quite some time. I hate to bring it up. I've had to bring it up. I don't know if any other YouTubers are talking to you about this. I don't watch them, so I don't know. But oh man, have we got problems. Don Russell, you are the man. Thank you for joining the channel as a new member. Love having you. We are watching in the last couple of weeks now, slow motion, a contagion problem that is developing in China. And this thing is going to go further than that. What you need to know as viewers and as market participants is that over the last 30 years, probably at least the 30 years, the Chinese government has probably been the largest buyer of U.S. debt of any investor, let alone a government. The Chinese government has been solidifying its credibility, its financial wherewithal by acquiring foreign assets, foreign currencies, which all countries do. All countries like to own currencies in other countries. The number one dog you own is the American dollar. You own American treasuries. The government of Canada does it through the Bank of Canada. It's done through the Bank of England. It's done through the European Central Bank. Standard playbook 101. You have and you buy a bunch of debt in U.S. Treasuries, and this gives your currency street cred amongst bond traders, currency traders, and everybody else, and it allows your currency to have real meat to it, and other countries believe in your economy and your currency if your currency is deemed to be stable. And one way to do that is to own British pound sterling notes, German bonds, French bonds, Japanese bonds, U.S. bonds. And the Chinese, they wanted to get into the world economy and be considered as a serious player. And what they did is debt. Whenever the U.S. is offering debt, they'd buy a chunk of it. And they can buy it either from the U.S. government directly, or they can just buy the debt on the open bond market, because once debt is issued, bonds trade between bond traders all the time. And for 30 years, the Chinese government, slowly but surely, has become the single largest holder of debt of the United States, as far as a foreign entity is concerned. Now, the largest holder of U.S. debt, I believe, again, I'm not a bond specialist, but from what I understand, is the U.S. government itself. The U.S. government, through its own federal pension plans and all the pension plans in the United States, but the federal government and through the Fed and all the stimulus has been buying its own debt. And that's how you print money. And so there's lots of dollars flowing around for business and to expand, and for people to be able to go to an ATM machine, always have cash. Banks have money to lend like no problem, trying to keep the economy and get the economy going. Now, in China, you have basically a problem. You on the one hand, it's great, because if you're the Chinese Communist Party, you run the top men that run the Chinese government party, because no women have power in China. The top guys that run China's powerhouse Communist Party, they control everything. So there is no radio station allowed in China unless it's government approved. There's no TV station allowed. There's no domestic internet allowed. Facebook can't do Facebook in China freely. There's restrictions. Google is not allowed in. YouTube, no one sees me in China. You kidding me? On and on it goes. So the entire media is completely nationalized and is completely brainwashing the 1.3 trillion or billion people as desperately as they can to let them know that they're in the greatest country in the world and everything we're doing is fantastic and anything that anyone else is doing is foreign interference and it's just not what we want because it's not the Chinese way, blah, 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 blah. The good news is that a good chunk of the citizenry know it's bunk. I had another word, BS. They know it's BS, but a third are zealots, and they're really into it, and they believe the word, and they drink the Kool-Aid, and they're totally sunk into it. Two-thirds, the rest of them, there's some who are skeptical, and then there's about a third who are like, going, this is crap, and this is all bunk, because if we're so great, then why aren't we the number one country in the world in every category, including something like, oh, I don't know, why can't I buy a copy of the New York Times at the local corner store? Why can't I use Google? Why can't I watch British television at my whim through a satellite provider? Well, foreign interference. Anyway, so they control the media. They control the military. They control all industrial production. They control quotas. They control licensing for businesses from mom and pops right to the conglomerates. They control it all, and they call the shots with regards to how things work. Now, Jack Ma over at Alibaba found out 2 years ago that as he became one of the richest men in the world, he was sort of intimating and indicating that, gee, China could come a long way if we keep going forward here. We've got companies going public on the New York Stock Exchange. We're raising billions of dollars. We're becoming, worldwide leaders in our area. Boy, we could really reform our Chinese banking system and our economic system and really become a global player. Well, the communist guys were not interested in that because that would mean full disclosure of who owns what. And we can't have that kind of exposure, that kind of microscopic investigation as to where all the money goes, because we have a little issue about, all these bribes that we collect and all these dollars we control. They kind of go to the families of the top leaders of the Communist Party, who then pay off the military and all the top guys there, and everyone is greased everywhere over there. And you don't believe it, don't believe it, but try to look into it. Good luck with that. Now, in the meantime, the economists for the Chinese government saying to these leaders, look, you can't run this totalitarian communist system, repressive system, without doing a number of things. You've already figured out the media. You got the military. You got the secret police. You got the regular police. You've opposed the government. Elections are rigged. There's no way anyone can run for office unless they're a Communist Party member. So anyone else is a foreign influenced person. Sound familiar, Russia? Any opposition to Putin is a foreign spy, so you can't run in the election. You can only run if you love Putin or if you love Xi Jinping, whatever his name is, Xi, and China. So you've got all that covered. And oppositions, people you put in jail, and any foreigners that, government gives you a rough time, like Canada with that gal in Vancouver that you put under house arrest. You arrest Canadians in China, trump up charges on them, and don't let lawyers talk to them, and trump up charges, put up court cases, and put them to prison for 25 years for being spies. Just come up with whatever you need to do. You've got all that figured out, but you gotta figure out one other thing. The problem for China is it can't do it by itself. China needs the help of the Western world to help it stay a repressive government, just like Russia does. Without the United States and Canada and the Brits and Europe, Russia wouldn't exist either. Putin is in power because of us. And the reason we keep Putin in power by allowing Russians to do business with all of us is because the alternative could be worse. Because Putin is bad enough, but the next guy after Putin could be a psycho, and we don't know. In China's case, we've been tolerating him, and we've been kind of going along with him, and we've been taking advantage of the cheap prices because we in the West are greedy. We're lazy, we're greedy, and we're fat. Why should I work hard and create a factory in Peoria to produce spatulas that are going to retail at Walmart for $8.99 because that's the cost of production in the United States, when I can import giant containers full of spatulas made to measure the way I want them from some factory in who knows where in China, from people I don't have to hire, I don't have to look at, I don't have to listen to their complaints, I don't have to worry about their families. I just get these containers full of spatulas. I can retail them for $7.99 or $6.99, and they cost me 59 cents each to make over there. I mean, why as a business person would I care about having a factory in Peoria? I don't. I never will. I might be from Peoria, but I don't give a crap. I want to make a lot of money because I'm an entrepreneur, and that is the way of the Western world. We are allowed to make it the way we want to make it. And until the American public or the Canadian public or the European public says, I'm not buying a Chinese made spatula, I'm only going to buy a Peoria made spatula, or a Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada spatula, or a Leeds, UK spatula, or a Berlin made spatula. I'm not buying Chinese spatula. Until we do that globally, the suffering will continue. And so that's where we're at. By the way, free thinker Mick Jones, welcome back. Nice to see you rolling over. Love having you here. And so the way to play that game is you invest in foreign currencies so that your currency, the yuan, is considered a strong currency. You can now set up a banking system, just like all the other countries of the world. And here's where the problem comes in for the Chinese. Banking systems run without political ways, really. There's some, but banks have to be able to move money around to satisfy debt obligations, IOUs. Chinese business people who are allowed to travel overseas and cut a deal in Baltimore to, who knows, sell product to a Baltimore company, and then other Chinese officials come to Everett, Washington to buy jets. The folks in Boeing want to know that if a Chinese airline comes knocking and says, we'd like to buy 50 737 airplanes or 777s, Boeing kind of wants to know that when they write the check, it won't bounce. They kind of like those kinds of arrangements. And so government to government, they guarantee each other's transactions of this nature. But there are millions of transactions where they're much smaller. They're thousands of dollar transactions, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, globally. And when a Chinese businessman wants to buy something from a German-based seller, or British-based, or Spanish-based, or Italian, Canadian, American, the seller wants to know that they're going to be paid. Well, the Chinese businessman is saying, well, I'll pay you in US dollars, or I'll pay you in euros, I'll pay you in British sterling, or British pounds. We're good for the money because we have the money in China. We have the foreign currency to spend the foreign currency. So you're buying product from us, we're buying product from you, and it's all hunky dunky dory. Well, that's great. That's a banking system, and as long as it flows, there's no problems. So you have a repressive communist government over here that's crushing all opposition and nipping in the bud any dissent. You have over here freedom-loving Americans, Canadians, Brits, Germans who like to have their own decisions, can criticize their own prime minister if they want to, or their own president. You have them over here. The commonality between these two is it's money. It's all about the money. The Chinese need money like we need money, and we need trade because trade is good. And what does trade do? Trade keeps wars at bay. That's what trade actually does. Because if you can keep 1.3 billion Chinese really busy with all kinds of manufacturing needs, construction needs, infrastructure building, getting the kids educated through school and universities, and encouraging young families to have children so you have future communist leaders, all is well. If you can do the same in America and Canada and Britain, everywhere else, you keep the young kids happy and keep the universities open and get the Pac-10 playing football. Happy, and we're all busy and preoccupied with what we want to be preoccupied with. We don't think about going to war. We don't think about growing up as adults going, I can't wait for my kid to turn 18 years old so I can put him into the mommy bastards over there. This is the whole thingy. Keep people busy and happy and not be warmongers. One of the things that you have to do in China, though, over here, is when you're managing 1.1 to 1.3 billion people, and you're converting your country from what it was in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, which was a rural farming country with a little bit of industrial, to a full blown industrial and economic powerhouse, marketing, manufacturing, and distribution. Hopefully, you can see me. Let me know if I'm back. It's internet spotty. I've noticed this. Are you getting me okay? Am I back on right now? Just let me know. Turn on hotspot. Thank you. Thank you for all the advice. We're doing the best we can. We're back. Okay, thanks, Larry. We're back. All right. So coming back to keeping the Chinese thing going, one way to keep the population calm is keeping them busy working. If the Chinese average individual is growing economically, and family members can all get jobs. So when families get together and they have their holiday season, they can all compare notes and they can all say, oh, yeah, mom and dad are working. The sons and daughters are all busy. The families are familying. Grandma and grandpas are being grandma and grandpas, cousins, aunts, and uncles all running along. Then it's fine. People are too busy with their lives and their economic well-being to worry about anything else, like toppling a government that is repressive and spies on you and everything else. Keeping in mind that inside a typical family in China, it's likely that out of every 10 people in China, adults, 3 are probably working for the secret police in one way or another. They're probably snitching on their own family. Similar to what East Germany had going on right up until 1989, just just so you know. And it's happening in Russia right now, and probably other regimes too. Anyway, you keep them busy. So one of the ways you keep people busy is you keep building. And if you build things that people can see, then they can see physical evidence of progress. So of course, if New York City builds a brand new skyscraper, hey, people in New York go, look at that. That's progress. We're building out. We're getting more modern. It's great. Or we're remodeling a new bridge, or putting in new subway lines, or building a new tunnel between New Jersey and New York. That's the future. That's growth. In China, it's skyscrapers. That's one of them. Putting skyscrapers up all over the country in cities that will house people as this country evolves into a more Western style economic system. Problem is that sometimes the actual demand for that merchandise, condos and office towers and shopping malls, isn't quite there to really justify the building of 40-story condos. And the other issue is that they don't build 3 or 4 of them at a time. They'll build 100 at a time. They'll build 100 in this area. They'll build 50 over here, 20 over there, 70 over there, 200 over there. And you're talking about trillions of dollars of real estate being built, authorized by the government, by these developers. Now, these developers in China, their thinking has been for the last 20 years, it's a can't lose situation. I buy land that the government tells me to buy, or regions of the city or area that I should buy. They license it and zone it for what I need done. The government will build the roads, the sewers. They'll bring the natural gas in if that's what's going to power things, or electricity. They'll bring in the sewer lines. They'll bring in the highways. They'll put in the traffic lights. The sidewalks, all the infrastructure, bridges over rivers and everything else. They'll drain marshes. And there is no environmental review authority in China that can hold things up in the courts for 20 years like in the United States or Canada. No, 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 no. It just gets done. And so these property developers know, oh, this is great. We can go ahead and build these 20 condos that are 40 stories tall. And there's another, 10,000 families that can be housed. And the Chinese public that is encouraged to work, and save, they need to put their money to work for future generations of Chinese. And they also have to look after grandma, grandpa, great grandma, and great grandma, if they live long enough, to house them and feed them and look after them. And so the way of doing that is to invest and grow the family pot. And one of those ways is real estate. And so a lot of Chinese, a huge number, have bought into mutual funds over there, through their banks over there, into bonds that are issued by property developers to fund the building of these mega structures. And up until about 4 or 5 years ago, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Even though the buildings were built before people were ready to move into them, the units were purchased. All the condos were sold out. The condos would be sold in Shanghai for cities 150 miles away, or in Hong Kong, or in Zhangzhou, or all the other. I don't even know all the names of the cities because you tell me the top 20 cities in China off the top of your head. I can't do it. There are cities with 5 million people I've never heard of. There are Chinese investors. They're never going to take possession of it. They might not even ever see the darn thing. Only one family member is sent on a train to that region to go look at the condo the family bought. We, the family, bought that condo. Or we, the family, bought into bonds that built that tower. Go see if the tower is standing there. And they go there and they see the show suite and everything's fine. And they report back, yep, it's there. It's all great. So everything is fine. Eventually these sell and turn over. And the speculation is we buy from the builder and then we sell on the secondary market down the road, and that's where we make our money. And if you were involved in condo construction and flipping in Shanghai or in Beijing, you did really well. Chrome Punisher, thanks man. Thank you for being here. Love having you. I'm glad you're part of the family here. So you get this constant game going on where families are buying condos in 15 cities over 15 years, and they're flipping them over time, and they just slowly but surely, very patiently make their money on this. It's all great until it isn't. And now in the last 5 years, it's really caught up to the Chinese authorities. The authorities have permitted too many condos to be built in too many areas, too many shopping malls, too many strip malls, too much of everything. And the Chinese economy is dependent on trade, a lot of international trade. And the problem with international trade for the last year and a half is something called a pandemic. And this has created problems, and it's created problems in Texas, Florida, British Columbia, Alberta, Hamburg, Germany, London, England, Madrid, Spain, Rome. It's created problems all over the dang place, and it is a nightmare. And the Chinese, unfortunately, they're exporters. They like to ship out stuff, and the buyers don't need as much, or haven't needed as much as before in some cases. And then there are other cases where even inside China, the pandemic, where they do a lockdown that you and I hear a little bit about in the media. I mean, we hear snippets, but the reality is they'll find that there's an outbreak of the virus in a certain city of 12 million people, and they'll shut that city down completely. Nobody in, nobody out. You all stay there, and you all stay inside your units, and very few people are allowed out of their houses. Only the ambulance drivers, doctors, and delivery people for food. That's about it. It is completely restrictive. And a family of 8, one person is allowed out of the house for an hour a day. And that person better get all those chores done, all the running around that they have to do. And even the shop owners can only allow one person in at a time, the mom and pops, to limit this spread. And when the spread is calmed down, and weeks later, like a month later, we start to open up again. We never hear about this. We don't get to send reporters from CNN to these cities in China to report. And in reality, we don't want to know, because we in the West don't give a crap. We don't care. We could care less. We care about what happens with us in our hometowns. We don't give a crap what happens in the middle of rural China. We don't care. Okay, fair enough. But it's happening. And so factories in these areas are shut down. They shut down for a month at a time, which puts them a month behind deliveries, which screws up everybody everywhere. There are other factories in China that aren't getting parts from this factory, this region, this region. There are countries of the world that are not receiving Chinese goods, including factories in other countries that do final assembly. And so you have car manufacturers in India, Indonesia, Vietnam. You have car manufacturers in, the United States of America and Canada and Germany and the UK and in France. They're not getting car parts either on time, because we are experts in this world of ours, this G20 world in which we live. We are absolute masters at just-in-time inventory control. We are really good at it. It works well when the inventory arrives just in time. When it doesn't arrive just on time, we're really bad at it, because then we've got partially built Ford F-150s sitting over here. We have partially built Teslas sitting over there. We have partially built Broncos over here, whatever the vehicle is. They're all over the place. Factories have partially built everything everywhere, from washers and dryers to dishwashers to lawnmowers to barbecues to patio sets to electronically reclining couches. Everywhere in the world, not in America, everywhere in the world, there are partially built everythings, all waiting for the final parts to come in to be finished. And this is slowly building and building and building. And now we have this China real estate problem, where they are so overbuilt on an economy that is not delivering. It is slowing up badly. Retail sales came out last week in China. They were supposed to be 7.5% higher than the year before, the quarter before, whatever the time frame was. 7.5% more. It was 2% more. Yeah, it grew, but 5% less than projected. This is bad news. This is really bad news. This is cash flow that is not flowing. This is less cash flow flowing. This is a contracting economy, and this cannot be turned around on a dime. Even a communist party can't make it turn on a dime. Impossible, because the virus, the outbreak of the epidemic is screwing it up. And so it's beginning to affect. And I keep bringing this up with you guys, and some of you out there going, shut up, don't talk about this. I don't want to hear about this. I want to hear about what's happening with GameStop. Just tell me how rich I'm going to get. I can't ignore this topic, because today, look what's happening in the pre-market today. Today is one of those days where, gosh darn the heck, problems in China are affecting the rest of the economy of the rest of the world. It's called contagion. And it started in Hong Kong overnight. It has spread to Europe this morning. And now look at the Dow. Right now, the Dow is off 647 points in the pre-market with a half an hour to go before we open. We're down 75 on the S&P, and we're down 257 on NASDAQ. It has nothing to do with the United States. It has nothing to do with Republicans. Nothing to do with Democrats. Nothing to do with football. Nothing to do with the weather. Has nothing to do with a hurricane. Has everything to do with concerns that there is an issue in China that is now possibly going to create a contagion problem. And what do I mean by that? I mean, for example, a little note that I made here. Hang on, let me grab this little book right here. The real estate giant in China called Evergrande, which I've mentioned before. Evergrande stock is off 90% from its high trades last October, like in the last 13, 14 months. It's down to 1/10 of what it used to be worth. The market capitalization of the largest real estate developer in all of China, which is a monster company with 1,000 employees and millions of employees they hire on construction jobs. $4 billion market cap is what they have right now. 1/10. They used to be a $40 billion market cap. Their debt on their balance sheet, if you believe the balance sheet, $90 billion. This is American money, by the way. I'm not using Chinese currency. This is American money. 4 billion market cap, 90 billion in long-term bonds, but that isn't the half of it. Their actual unpaid bills that they've got lying around from lack of cash flow, $300 billion in unpaid bills. The company's worth $4 billion according to the stock price today, and it's still falling. And now the problem is everyone who holds IOUs from these guys, whether they are local plumbers, electricians, whether it's real estate sellers for commissions, whether it's property taxes they owe in China, whether it's electricity, whatever the bills are, all the paint and all the steel and all the construction materials, they're getting unpaid right now. They usually get paid because this company can raise money by issuing bonds against their towers, all their real estate that they own or are developing. And then they pay all their people off, who then pay all their employees off, and everything just keeps on going. But all of a sudden, this tip of the iceberg right here, right at the top, can't borrow a dime from anybody because no banker will lend them a penny anymore because they're panicking with the fact that they can't even pay the existing debt they got. They've missed one interest payment. They're going to miss a second one this week. There are Chinese banks out there very exposed to a lot of this problem because the companies that are owed money by these guys have borrowed money themselves to pay their bills. It is a chain reaction. The reality is you can multiply this by 5 down the line, because you know how it is in the economy when you hear about a stimulus package in the United States gets passed by the U.S. Congress and the Senate, and the president signs it, like an infrastructure deal. They talk about how it's $100 billion a year for 10 years. It's a $1 trillion package. And you have all the politicians screaming back and forth how bad or how good it is. But the economists quietly say, yeah, listen to me. Listen to this. If you spend $100 billion building bridges and new highways and airports and seaports and all kinds of infrastructure in the United States, you hire American product, you hire American people, engineers, and you pay all these bills in America, and it rolls over to like $500 billion a year in economic activity from the initial $100 billion that's being put into the thing. So it's a 5-fold increase, increases employment everywhere. It's a good made in America job program. Republicans don't want to talk about that because that's socialism. Don't want to talk about that. Economists go, screw socialism. This is good for the economy. This is good for the bottom line. People can take out mortgages, get car loans. They can buy furniture. They can take holidays. They can put their kids through school. They can pay their bills. This is good socialism. In China, it's communism, and they have their own way of explaining it, but that's what it is. And when you have the tip of the iceberg not able to borrow $1 billion to pay off $1 billion in bills this month, you've got $5 billion in bills not being paid all the way down the line, and it's going another month, and another month, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And in 2008, the United States and Canada and Britain and the UK and the European Union and others suffered from the meltdown of 2008. And that was contagion. Contagion. It's happening in China, and the markets for the first time today are reflecting it, going, gee, I hadn't thought of this, but gosh darn to heck, if the Chinese banks are short on cash because of non-payment of loans, the government's going to have to bail them out because you don't have the banking system collapse in China. That's a no-no. That's not going to happen. So the thing that will have to happen, everyone knows it, just government won't admit it, but we all know it. The Chinese government's going to have to step in and help out. And they popped $14 billion into the banking system last Friday already. We believe out here in the Western world, we're thinking that's going to have to be 10 to 20 times as much. It's going to have to be 3 to 500 billion minimum that's going to have to go in. And the Chinese government's going to have to find it. They're going to have to find 3 to 500 billion dollars in the next month or two or three that they weren't planning on having to get. And there's one source where they can get that money. Easy source they can get that money. They could either go and borrow it from the world markets, which they do, but the easiest way to do it is to sell U.S. treasuries, cash those in, because that is liquid as liquid gets, and use that capital, convert it to Chinese yuan, and put it into the Chinese bond market and bail out these banks who are going to need to bail out all these entities or extend loan guarantees to keep the system running. And that means U.S. treasuries are on sale. And that means interest rates are going up in America. And this is why Americans have got to be crapping their pants. And no one knows except the higher level economists who follow this stuff all the time and all those worry warts I keep telling you about in the bond market. These are the folks that are panicking. Now, the good news for America is that if the thinking is the Chinese have to sell, it means that the US dollar will go up in value because everyone flees to safety. Everyone runs to mama when there's issues. All the other countries of the world will buy US treasuries. They will offload Chinese treasuries. They will offload third world debt treasuries, and they will buy American treasuries. In effect, what could happen is more buying will come into the US Treasury market than is available or needed. And in effect, the Chinese can sell all they want and the world will buy it all and more because the world is worried about the Chinese scenario and the spillover effects. Because if China has problems, Taiwan has problems. And if China has problems, Vietnam has problems, Laos has problems, Cambodia has problems, South Korea will have problems. All its neighbors will have problems, including the Russians, because the Russians and Chinese are tight when it comes to economic cooperation. North Koreans will have problems because they depend on brother China to pay for everything. And so we have contagion going on here. Good for, in effect, possibly good for America in a way, but bad for America in another way. And when I say America, I now mean Canada as well, because we're tied in. The Europeans, we're all tied in. We're tight. We're all tight. But the Chinese thing is a mess. And this thing, we haven't unpeeled the onion yet as to how bad it is and how deep this problem is, because there are dozens of real estate companies in China all having problems. Because if you can't sell a condo over here, I can guarantee you, you're not selling condos over here either. It's not like this company is a lousily run company. They know how to build condos and everything else. So do all these other companies, and they're all smart and they're all efficient and they're all really deep into the party. They're all in trouble. And this is now expanding out into other industries in China because the bankers are being squeezed for money and they can't lend now to the car companies. They can't lend to the appliance makers. They can't lend to trucking companies. They can't lend to their national railway to keep building that incredible railway over there. On and on and on. It's called contagion. And the government is going to have to step in and lose face, which Chinese do not like to do. The Chinese do not like to admit that they were wrong on anything ever. And they're going to have to. And the way we know they're going to have to is not by issuing an apology or standing in front of a microphone and bowing in disgrace. No, they got to cut checks. They got to write money check. They got to write checks that don't bounce. That's what they have to do. And that's what economists say. That's how they apologize. They just pay up because that's what all countries do. When there's a screw up, countries have to pay up, and countries do because countries like to be countries. They don't like to fold. They keep going. Even the Greeks, with all their money problems, they pay their bills. And their citizens suffer greatly with unbelievable hardships. Tough. We're not going to collapse the country of Greece. We're going to pay our bills on the backs of our taxpayers. Well, in China, it'll be on the backs of the 1.3 million or billion, 1.3 billion people. And some of them will be unemployed, laid off, and hopefully not be too agitative. But then again, if they are, the Chinese authorities have ways to quell troublemakers, because there are lots of spaces in prison over there which employ people. So, we have ways to keep everything in check, because we, the communists, run everything. I mean, we run it all. The problem is we can't run the world economic banking system. We can't run the economic tides. We can't control the currency traders. We can't control the bond traders. And we can't control outside investors, because they're not communists and they're not afraid of us, and they don't live here, and we can't arrest them, and we can't stop them from doing what to do. And even with our messages of greatness out of our media, they don't believe it. They think it's all BS, because it's all BS. And there you go. So welcome to Monday morning, where we're down 643 points on the Dow. Now, what does this mean for us lowly investors and followers of GameStop and Matterport and all of our other favorite stocks? What does it mean for us? Well, we have a down dip to start the day. Yeah, because we all get sucked into the hype. But if any of you guys are sellers this morning, you are saps. Do not be putting in tickets to sell anything today. If anything else, you're looking to be buyers today. Today is Bargain Monday. I don't know how long it'll last, though, either. I don't know how long this dip will last on the markets. It's going to take a few days for everything to kind of come clear, because a lot of Americans are waking up, and Brits and Germans and French and other investors going, what the hell's going on with China? What is that? I heard some crap last week, but it didn't sound bad. Now it sounds bad. What happened over the weekend that made it sound bad? Nothing happened over the weekend. It was bad a month ago. It was bad 6 months ago. It is just now leaking out. And there have been those out there who've been screaming at their computers in their living rooms in Creston saying, watch out for China. But guys like that have 698 people watching him live on a Monday morning. I mean, what influence has this guy got? The good news is the 698 that are watching are getting info you can't get anywhere else, I guess. And you're getting it, I hope, in plain English, that you understand what I'm trying to tell you. I do the best I can with what I got. Christopher D., new member. Thank you, Christopher, for being a member of this channel. I really, really, really appreciate it. I do my best to welcome every new member as best I can, but I sometimes miss some of you, and I apologize if I miss you, but I love you guys. You are the backbone of this channel, and I thank you all. You don't sell on days like this. You don't panic on days like this. You sit back and go, all right, well, let's see what's going on here. I have money in the market that I can afford to lose, should be your mantra. I'm a patient individual, should be your thinking. And if you're an option writer, and many of you are becoming option writers, you are grinning from ear to ear today. You are grinning because you're looking at this going, this is great. I wrote calls on Matterport last week. I wrote calls on GameStop last week. I wrote calls on all kinds of stuff, all of you collectively are going to say. And you're all going to be going, well, how low can the shares go, and how cheap will these options get? How cheap can I buy them back for? How about those GameStop shares that I wrote? Here we go. How many of those GameStop shares that I wrote at 220, 240, 250? How many can I buy back now? Can I buy back my January or April next year contracts for really a little bit of money during this week and roll into much shorter term contracts right around here? I'm interested in looking at that. I noticed the headline here, S&P says China's capacity to backstop substantial failures may be tested, because this isn't just one company. Quick 50 million. 50 billion will take care of it. Let's make it go away. If they could have done that, they would have done that 6 months ago. We would never have heard a word about Evergrande or whatever these guys are called. We would have heard nothing about these guys, but we are. And we're hearing a lot of ugly stuff, and it's now spreading to other companies. China's got a problem, and it's a I think, trillion-dollar problem. It's not a billion-dollar problem. It's trillions of dollars. They're not admitting it. They're not going to admit it. Eventually, the economists will figure it out, and it wouldn't surprise me if economists have figured it out. It wouldn't surprise me if the Fed The Treasury Department, the US government, they know exactly the nightmare China is sitting on, but they're not going to talk about it. Why are they not going to talk about it? Because if the Fed starts talking about China problems to you and me through the media in the United States, this is known globally as a global problem. There's no way the Fed's going to lead the charge on this one. They're going to stay quiet and only speak when they need to. The Bank of England knows. The Central Bank of Europe knows. Here in Canada, the Bank of Canada knows. All the officials know. Everybody knows everybody in the business. This is the thing that a lot of us may not understand. Governments know governments. Bankers know bankers. World bankers know world bankers. And feds know feds. They all know who these people are. They all know their numbers. There are no secrets in the economy because you can't hide the big picture of where all the dollars are. They have information access. They have access to information we'll never get. But they know crap that we would crap over if we knew it. I can assure you of that. There is a problem, Houston, and it's a big one. And we're not being made privy to the gory little details yet. But eventually the books and the movies will come out, just like The Big Short. We'll all see it, but that'll be 10 years from now. In the meantime, we plug ahead. By the way, I think I have good news on GameStop. I really do. I think I have good news. They made a release this morning that was all of 3 sentences long, typical of GameStop and their press releases, no details. They announced that they plan to hire 500 new employees between now and the end of the year at their brand new customer service center in, it sounds like Pembroke Pines, Florida. Now, this has been known that they're building it and it was coming, but officially today they confirmed we are hiring 500 people in Pembroke Pines, Florida to run our customer care facility, and it's up and running by the end of this year. So they are well into this thing. I did some really rudimentary mathematics here, like really basic crap. And I was figuring, okay, you hire 500 people, all right? And they're going to have to be full-timers because they can't be part-timers. We're talking about a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week customer care facility. What is this customer care facility going to be? It's going to answer telephone calls from these 1-800 callers about online purchases of GameStop product. You're not going to call a 1-800 GameStop number in Pembroke to talk about a box, a gaming system you bought at a store in Indianapolis. You're just going to go back to that store if there's a problem with the darn thing, get a refund or get another one. But if you're an online shopper and you have questions, or you've received something and it's wrong and you want to replace it or whatever, you're going to be encouraged by the website to call this number, or you're going to call Pembroke Pines, Florida. You're going to be talking to North American people who are all aware of gaming and everything that GameStop is involved with. You're going to talk to people in the know because you know they're going to be trained up. So I did some math and I thought, okay, it's 500 full-time jobs. And that includes the grunts, the managers of the grunts, the managers of the managers of the grunts, and so on. And I thought, okay, well, I was figuring if it's $20 an hour average pay, just as a number with benefits and stuff, and I could be low, I probably am. I was thinking, how much money is that? Because this is a 24/7 operation. This never stops. So you got 500 people on a rotational basis that are going to be working these different shifts, probably 3 shifts a day, 8 hours, unless it's two 12-hour shifts. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. My guess is that it's 37 and a half hours to 40 hours a week, 8-hour shifts, 5 days in a row, but it's 7 days a week. So you can imagine the shifting that's going to go on. These jobs, I would never want a job like this. Are you kidding me? My life would be all upended with all these different times. But in any event, I was thinking that the payroll per year would be a minimum of $30 million a year in payroll for the 500 people in Pembroke Pines, Florida. So this is a commitment by GameStop for a $30 million a year payroll increase for a center. Now, the cost of the center, obviously, you can imagine first of all, you have to have all these lines, these phone lines in. You have to have all these computers to handle all the inquiries, the computing power, the servers, the tech people, the facility, the actual building that they've leased a facility, the building out of the facility. Okay, you only have to rent the facility, but you got to put the equipment in to run. Even if you lease it, you're under serious financial commitment. We're talking hundreds of millions of bucks. You were asking me, or we're wondering the other day, where's that 1.7 billion going that GameStop has in their bank account? Where's that targeted for? Because they're not telling us. They're not saying to us, oh, well, here's the breakdown. We're going to spend 100 million here, 200 billion here. They aren't telling us. Well, now we have an idea. If you're going to hire 500 people and you're going to put them into a facility that can handle all the 500 people's needs and stuff, you're dropping 150 million a year in total. Now, you will not spend this kind of money unless there's a return, right? I mean, you're not going to do that. And I'm thinking, look, if I buy something on GameStop.com or whatever the websites are called, and I order a new game and it arrives in 2 days and everything's fine, I'm not going to call the 800 number. I'm a happy customer. I didn't have to call these guys. I'm only going to call the 800 number if I have a problem or if I have a question about something they're promoting on the site, blah, blah, blah. So you got to figure maybe 1% of all the business that they do generates a phone call. 99% of the business they do is seamless and it works just fine. And people, figure out what they're doing on their own without having to call the number. But I'm guessing maybe 1%, maybe it's half of 1%, maybe it's 1/10 of 1%. But whatever that number is, if it is 1%, think about it this way. They're hiring 500 people to handle 1% of all their sales issues. How much in sales is this really? It gives you an idea what they're thinking about. They're thinking about something big. If the average order online through GameStop were $1 an order, that would be one thing. If it's $10 an order, it's another. If it's $100 an order, it's different. So how many dollars are we talking about that is going to go through the system to justify having 500 people at a cost of 30 million payroll plus millions and millions more on top of it? It could be on an annual basis, it's costing the company $50, $60 million, double the payroll to run it once it's up and running. Might have cost $100 billion to build it, but to run it, it's $60 million a year. If you're going to spend $60 million a year for 1% of your business that needs telephone support, multiply the $60 million times 100. And I can't do that off the top of my head. 60 million times 10 is 600 million. Times that is 6 billion. So they're thinking of $6 billion in business being done online to justify a $60 million a year expense to run it. Got it? Customer care part. Is that impressive? I think it's impressive. I think if you're going to have $6 billion in sales online, where right now the entire corporation is doing $5-6 billion a year, all in with all 4,000 stores and online, you can see where their heads are. They're thinking we're going to $6 billion online, plus we're going to do so many billion in store, and so I can see them going to 10 or 11 or 12 billion in total sales. That's projected now in the next year or two, because this center is up and running in 4 months or less. It's running in 4 months or less to handle expected calls. They're ramping up their online sales dramatically. You would never spend this kind of money and you would never hire 500 people unless you had the business to be managed in the first place. And so I'm going, this is pretty good. I think this is a good thing for GameStop shareholders. I think this is a good thing for GameStop, the corporation. This is a little hint, just a tiny little sliver of light that we can peek through the door here and kind of see what's going on behind the curtain. And the 500 people being hired is a sign of a company dramatically ramping up its online business. We know about the online service center in Reno. We know about the online distribution center in York, Pennsylvania. We know they're already distributing product from their distribution centers in Grapevine, Texas. They have their warehouses there. Mississauga, Ontario, for all of Canada up there. I believe they have a center in Australia, and I think they have a center in France, because in France they received a $40 million COVID loan kind of thingy, partially grant, partially, I'm not sure what, to keep operating during COVID. So I think they have these service centers, these distribution centers all over the planet, and now they're putting in the 500 people to handle all the inquiries, especially for North American customers. I think they're talking about $6 billion in sales, like expected in the next year from e-commerce. That's going to be interesting, isn't it? And in the end of the day, the whole plan. Remember, what's your plan? That's your plan. What was your plan? The whole plan was to convert the company to an e-commerce powerhouse, because you don't have rents all over the North America and the world in tiny little 1,000 and 2,000 square foot stores. You don't have these little rents all over the place. You only have overhead at your 5 or 6 distribution centers, which are humongous. The cost per square foot is minuscule. The production per square foot is phenomenal. The amount of merchandise you can move out of a warehouse compared to 4,000 miniature little stores is, you can't compare it. You can crush the amount of volume that the stores are doing. And so this is a good thing. So I like it. Now, as of this morning, as of this moment in time, GameStop is $198.39, down $6.50 a share. It's not down $6.50 because of this announcement. It's not down $6.50 because GameStop doesn't know what it's doing. It's down $6.50 on speculation that we're going to have a crappy day today, because the market is off 583 on the Dow. My hunch on the Dow is it might have a lousy opening, but in the first 2 hours, we might flush this out and be down less than 100 points. We might even have an up day today, because New York is going to go, screw you, China. We don't have to worry about your problems. We are so much larger economically. We're so much more powerful. And when there's problems overseas, where do the dollars go? Back to America. Investors flee countries in trouble, and they go to where they can count on consumers long term. And that's Americans and Canadians and the Europeans. That's us. And so we'll see how this all plays out. Anyway, we're a few minutes away from opening. That's my rant for this morning. That's my education center education for this morning. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped and made sense to some of you out there. Thank you, those of you who've been becoming members while I'm yapping away here first thing in the morning from Calgary at a secret location. We're in a hotel here with a hot tub, a spa, and a pool. And we're using them, and it's fantastic, and we're really enjoying it here. But I'm not telling you where we are. Thank you, all of you, for joining me today. Love you guys. All of you out there. There was a bunch of you this weekend. I couldn't believe it. There were a bunch of you this weekend who headed on over to my website, stockmarkerswithbruce.ca, and ordered up a lesson or two this weekend. Some of you were getting what we call edumacated on how to write stock options and the trading strategies and all kinds of stuff. And I saw that. I get notifications every time one of you orders one of those lessons. And I thank you very much for that. I hope they're working for you. I know a number of you are telling me it is working for you. You're sending me private messages making it very clear that you know that you've changed my life. Do you know that? I used to lose money all the time in the stock market, and I was one of those saps who would just buy and hold and not do anything. And now I am trading in the market like I never thought I would. And I cannot believe that I'm making the kind of money I'm making from options. Is this legal? Am I allowed to do this? Is this how these hedge funds do this? Yes. That's how hedge funds can afford 80-story tall office towers in Manhattan and around the world with an entire floor just for their employees. They'll have employees in a cubicle with 15 screens trading, and the employee is 300,000 a year. The cubicle is 300,000 a year with all the equipment. The overhead is another 100,000 a year per employee, and then they got to make money for the house. Yeah, these employees make millions a year each for the firm, with the firm's money, doing exactly what we're talking about here, that you can do from the comfort of your house if you'd like. And away we go. We are open. The bells are a ringing, kids. Welcome to the opening of another fun day in the markets today. And let's just see what the bloodbath looks like. We should have a lousy, creepy opening, but I'm curious to see whether it'll really last very long. I'm just waiting here and just trying to go through my system here and my big ass iPad. I got my good old iPhone here, and we'll take a look at the opening quotes. I wouldn't worry too much about the opening 20, 30 minutes. I really would not worry about it. The only thing you should be thinking about is, what bargain do I buy this morning? Not what I'm selling. What am I buying today? Let's take a look at what we got. I'm showing a Rocket Lab right now at $14.75, down 66 cents. Opening trade, 188,000 shares. I've got SoFi showing down 49 at 14.60, 1.4 million traded. GameStop showing here at $200 a share, down 451. I did show a 197 print, but it's now showing a $246 trade. Matterport 2052, 2073. It's coming on already. It was as low as 2051 on 364,000. We've got ME at 814. It was as low as 8. It's now 814, down 20. Smart Rent is actually showing, I'm not sure if it's showing a gain of 2 cents, and I'm not sure if it's actually open. Spire down $1.78, apparently 11.93. But you know how this thing works. It can be down $2 and up $4 an hour later. So just give this a bit of time to settle out. ATIP 346, down 7 cents on 76,000. Very quiet opening. We'll wait for that to settle in, like we will with all of these guys. Cyxtera down 18 cents to 9.18. I'm showing AMC down $1.47. I got Robinhood down 122. I got Vanik Vector the ETF down, where are we at now? Down 620 at 264. Home Depot down 317. IBM down $1.36. The Dow down 465. Not down 650 points, but down 465. But that will filter through. We have to wait for the all stocks to open for trading. Microsoft down 210, Apple down $1.33, Tesla down 18.46, Bed Bath & Beyond down 71, BlackBerry down 33, Royal Caribbean at 81.64, down 2.15 a share. Goldman Sachs down $13 a share. The bargain of bargains just keeps coming in, and this is the steal of the deal here. The high of the year, $420. And that was not even a month ago. And we're sitting here at $42 off. That's a 10% drop on a company that is right now trading at 6.95 times earnings. The PE multiple, 6.95. Unbelievable that this stock is being given away at such a cheap price. I'm dumbfounded by it each and every time I see it. Google trades at 30 times earnings. Amazon trades at 59 times earnings. Goldman at not even 7. It's unbelievable to me. Apple is trading at 28.3 times earnings. Microsoft is at 37 times earnings, and Goldman at not even 7. Heck, even at 10 times earnings, it's cheap. I mean, ridiculous. At 12 times earnings, it's cheap. At 14, it's cheap. Double the price, the stock is still cheap. And Goldman right now can be had for 300. What's the price per share? Where's my quote here? Here we are, $378. Double the price. It's cheap. I've called it a $700 stock within a year. I'm sticking to it, not giving up on it. Unbelievable. But, people get over leveraged and they get panicky and they get twitchy, and they have to make moves because they're over leveraged on their deals, and you got to let them do it. So you let people blow their brains out, lose a bunch of money in a panic sell, and you sit around and pick off the bargoons. And that's how you make money in this business. And that's how Warren Buffett got so rich. And all of his disciples joined in and have done exactly the same thing. Cheers to all of you from around the world who are watching this YouTuber in a darkened kind of room because I don't want Jennifer to be disturbed too much. Here I am in a little living area here at a hotel in Calgary, in a top secret location. Spending my morning with you. I hope you're doing all right. Don't let this market get you down. We're down 496 on the Dow. So what? Hardly an issue. This is not a Dow Jones problem. A little contagion, but I don't think it's going to last very long. The China thing will blow out. There's no doubt about that. You cannot sustain a totalitarianism government in every aspect of society forever. Eventually, you have to pay for it. And right now, the market is going, time to cough up some American bucks to cover your losses. And the Chinese are reluctantly doing it. Otherwise, they're out of the game, and they can't afford to be out of the game because if they get out of the game, they're out of power. And if they're out of power, they're in jail. Because as soon as the public of China gets a hold of the records to see how corrupt and inept these guys are and how many trillions they've siphoned off for themselves and their families, these guys are in jail if they even get there. So there'll be no way they won't pay. They'll pay. They'll pay, and they'll make their 1.3 billion pay for their greed and corruption, which they've done since the 40s. Welcome to communism. There you go. Anyway, there's fun at the OK Corral till Daddy takes the T-bird away. We're down 63.9 on S&P. We're down 258 on the NASDAQ. We're down $1.08 on oil. Commodities are taking a hit, more or less. And that's what we got for now. This is the initial reaction today to the China problem that is becoming more prevalent and will become more prevalent. It will not affect our stocks long, as far as our favorites are concerned, because we have nothing to do with the China market. We have everything to do with the Western world market. And of course, the stocks that we're following and the companies we're following are up and comers, and they're in the right businesses at the right time. And so there you go. Even with a COVID virus wreaking havoc all over the place, you have to launch satellites. You have to manage the data between satellites and Earth. You have to have server farms to handle the data. You have to have banking, online banking to replace traditional retail location banking. There's your SoFi. You have to have 3D imaging for real estate and for commercial real estate, for insurance purposes and retailing and everything else. That's where Matterport comes in. They're digitizing the real estate world. 23andMe, you need new medicines always. You need new ways to treat diseases always. ME and their partnerships, that will do very well. Smart Rent, you're going to have to smarten up your house, your condo, whether you're a house owner or, more importantly, you're an owner. You're a company that owns 200 rental units. You have to modernize up and increase the efficiency of your properties. And one way to do that is Smart Rent, because the first thing you'll notice is a decrease in the cost of energy to run your properties. The second thing you'll understand is your insurance premiums will plummet because the insurance company will go, you guys can detect leaks. You can detect leaks the minute they happen through Smart Rent, which shuts off the water and limits damage, which limits insurance claims. Yeah, we'll give you a discount on your policy for all 200 of your units. This is huge. The Smart Rent savings for property developers and operators is unthinkably massive. Insurance companies are loving this. Retailers are loving it because they are Matterporting all of their locations, all of their stores across the world, and now they can send detailed Matterported plans to their store managers to say, we want you to change the layout of your store. We want you to move that counter over there. We want you to do this over there. We put the cash register over there because that'll increase the efficiency of your store. And we've done all that here at head office. We didn't have to send anyone to your store to look at it. We've done it all from here, saving travel costs, expenses. The efficiency level just went way up. Unbelievable. And the store manager is happy because no one from head office coming in to pester this guy. They're just showing him, here's what you want. We want you to do when you get it done. Show us Matterported photos of the finished job. And there you have it. It's wonderful. Aspire Global will grow, get richer because they are the ones managing the satellites. ATIP physiotherapy centers. They'll hire a new CEO. They'll announce the new CEO. They will announce their plans. They will promote their game plan. They will probably do a bunch of acquisitions, and the stock will do a lot better than $3.47. But you guys have to pay the price, which is time. You've got to give this thing time to develop. And some of you have it, and some of you don't. You have time to give, others don't. I get it. Sextera, 911 right now, managing all those server farms. So those companies, all those SPACs that are now independently publicly traded companies, they're going to do just fine no matter how good or bad China does or what interest rates do or inflation or whatever. It doesn't matter. You're going to be fine. Anyway, there you have it. Right now, the Dow's down 431. Pfizer says COVID-19 vaccine is now shown to be effective for children as young as 5. So there might be some positivity coming in that direction. Get those kids 12 and under vaccinated. That would be good stuff. Matterport, well, let's run down the numbers again. We're down 413 on the Dow as we're coming on. We're improving a bit. We're still down 1.19%. S&P down 54, down 1.2%. And NASDAQ down 229, down 1.5%. 225 on the NASDAQ now. Our favorites, Rocket Lab is now 1456. The low of the day, 1427. We've improved about 30 cents there on 516,000 shares. We have SoFi showing 1481, down 28 cents. The low of the day was 1454. So we've come back 64, 74. Well, we've come up almost 30 cents. We're doing a lot better on that one. 2.7 million looks like volume. Gamestop opened at 208. Apparently, I don't know if that's a real quote. Went down to 197 right off the bat this morning. Right now, 198.58. So we're still at the low end. We're down 6.39 a share. Hardly an issue for GameStop. This is typical. This is like a normal thing. 235,000 volume. No panic volume coming in here at all. Matterport, 21.29, showing down 96 cents. The low was 20.35. So this stock was almost $1 lower this morning. It's come back over $1 since this morning's opening of 20.35 roughly. We're at 21.40 now. We're only down 85 cents on the day. Matterport's going to go higher. 657,000 traded. Looking good. ME down 16 cents at 8.18. The low of the day, $8. So 18 cents recovered. We're still down 16 cents. We've come back half the loss and more. Looking okay. Smart Rent, 13.31, down 39 cents. The low was 13.15. 16-cent gain on Smart Rent from the low of the day. Spire was 11.69 on the opening, roughly. It's now 12.18. So a recovery of about, now 12.45, pardon me. Recovery now about 75 cents or so. Still down $1.26, but coming on pretty quick. 140,000 volume. No panic selling here, no volume. There are no more sellers. Whatever was available, and now it's drying out. So looking good. 12.37, looking good. Where else are we? ATIP, 352. We were as low as 336. We're now 352. 16-cent gain. We're unchanged at 353 right now. ATIP is about to go green. Sextera down 3 cents. It was as low as 9.02. It's now 9.32, down 3 cents. It's going to go green at any moment as well. So we have a couple of our favorites here about to turn the corner. ME here and 8.21, down only 13. It's about to turn the corner if it keeps up this pace. It's coming around. SoFi could be going green in not too distant future. It's now 14.87, down only 22 cents. After being as low as 14.54. We have had a 33-cent recovery. We're only 22 cents underwater. So SoFi is looking good on 2.9 million shares. Not a panic number there at all. If we were at 10 million shares, you could see panic selling. It isn't there. Good stuff. Like it. IBM down 61 cents. 134.68, a little bit of pressure, but nothing much. The Dow now down only 403. The Dow now has recovered from as low as 33,987. It's now 34,195. 4. So we've gained 200 points from the low. The low was a negative 590 figure. We're now down 390 on the Dow. This is all in 15 minutes. 15 minutes, we've got 200-point recovery on the Dow, showing you that the initial sell-off was thin, inconsistent, and not very deep. The volume is probably not even there. So there are bargain hunters scooping up stock on the Dow right now from those who had to sell for whatever reason they had to sell. We're down 378 on the Dow now. Microsoft only down $1.30. Apple down $1.44. Tesla down 23 to 736. Bed Bath Beyond down 24 cents. BlackBerry down 27. By the way, why would Tesla be down $23, you might ask? Why would it? Well, that's because they have a gigantic plant in China, and they sell Model 3s and Model Ys in the China market. And the worry is that a certain class of Chinese, those who can afford Teslas, might not be able to purchase their cars because their anticipated revenues that they were thinking of getting from their investments, multiple condo project ownerships that they have, are not paying off. And so they're going to have to delay the purchase of a Tesla potentially in China. So it causes Tesla to rethink their strategy. Now, the good news for Tesla in the long run is if the China domestic market backs off and Tesla numbers really decline in China, that'll allow Tesla to remodel the line to import vehicles into Europe that are needed, because Model 3s and Model Ys are in desperate need in Europe and in North America. They're behind in production in North America. So they might produce for world export Tesla 3s and Model 3s and Model Ys in China that would have been for the China domestic market. They'll now just send them out for internationally. And that allows the U.S. Factory in Fremont to just produce Model 3s and Ys and catch up along with the Model S's with production. So in effect, China buys fewer Teslas. The rest of the world gets their Teslas quicker from the backlog that Tesla has, because they are way behind on delivery. A Model S now in Canada is March, April delivery. That's like 6 months. You got to wait in Canada to get a Model S. This could be good for the delays on some of these vehicles. Model X's, the ones with the gull wing doors, those haven't even released a single one of those of the newly remodeled ones. They're still behind on Model S's, let alone Model X. So Tesla could, in effect, turn this in lemons into lemonade by just shifting production elsewhere. We'll see. The stock's down 24, though, in a knee-jerk reaction to the China news, but need not worry if you are long Tesla stock. All right, we're still down 127 on the Royal Caribbean right now. ATIP is positive. It's up 1.5 cents. Sextera down only 12. ME only down 8 cents now. We're about to go positive on ME as well. We're coming back. We're only down 20 on SoFi. We might go positive this morning on SoFi. The Dow, again, down 426 right now. It'll fluctuate here. S&P down 58. NASDAQ down 226. The NASDAQ is the worst performer, down 1.5%. S&P is the second worst, down 1.3. The Dow is only down 1.2. So actually, the Dow is the best performing index of them all. And this is coming on generally quite nicely. Oil down $1.08 to $70.89. If you thought there might be a slowdown in China for oil needs, you can double that now. You can really talk about how oil needs in China are really going to back off. Chinese oil production is just, there's going to be oil sloshing around the planet everywhere, because the need for oil in China is really coming down. That economy is on a slowdown. They might be heading for a recession for a while. Oil prices could drop into the 50s. You can forget about all these dreamers, these analysts who have been just praying for oil to go to 100 because there might be a cold winter. These are the same morons who are trying to convince you that July the 4th, we were going to go to $80 a barrel right there because the Americans are hitting the highways like never before. And, they're going to travel all over America. It's going to be great. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. As soon as the 4th of July happened, everything stopped and airlines noticed, oh God, our bookings for the fall are falling off the face of the earth.
The hotels are going, oh shoot, September, October, November, we're crapping out here. We're in a hotel in a top secret location in Calgary, and I got to tell you, it's a great place. Um, it's not very old. This entire facility is less than 4 years old. Talking to the manager the other day, having a little chat with him because he was checking up on us, asking, "Hey, Uncle Bruce, how you doing? I know you're a celebrity. You're a hotshot guy on YouTube. I just want to make sure you're a happy guy." And I said we were very happy. We were very pleased with this room. And then he was telling us about the last year and a half here at this facility, and they're talking about 10 to 15% occupancy levels for the last year and a half at this hotel, brand new hotel. We're in a unit here. The couch is brand new. I mean, no one's sitting in this couch. There's no wear and tear anywhere on anything. You can tell by looking at the corners of little tables and coffee tables if there's wear and tear. You can tell it's all brand new. It's incredible. I asked for a toaster because you may have heard that I enjoy a bagel from time to time on my weekly shows. They couldn't provide me with a toaster, but they said, "How about a toaster oven?" I said, "Sure, we could make a toaster oven work for a bagel." 2 hours later, they delivered us a toaster oven. It's never been used. It's brand new, never been used. The coffee maker they have here, it's one of those Keurigs. Looks like it's been used 5 times. It's like a brand new unit. The cord is brand. You can tell just what's new and what's not. Anyway, the numbers were terrible. This past summer, though, June, July, the numbers went back up to 80% because the Calgary Stampede came and the government of Alberta opened up the economy. Big mistake, because now, here in September, the province of Alberta, where we are right at this moment, has got the biggest outbreak of the virus ever. The hospitals have no vacancies for any patient other than COVID, and they're now talking about flying patients 2,000 miles east to Ontario for any new patients coming in. Can't handle anymore. They're now talking to the military here in Canada. They're talking to the military about bringing in specialists, medical specialists from the Army to help relieve the stress on the nurses here in Alberta because the hospitals are full to the max. The overtime is mandatory, 7 day a week shifting. There's no time off, and they're falling off the face of the earth. These ladies and gentlemen are collapsing from sheer exhaustion. They cannot keep up the pace, and so there's a state of emergency being declared here. It's absolutely unbelievable, and what can I tell you? The so-called hoax is it's real. It is real. What can I say? Anyway, there's where we're at on that. It's just insane. It's what we have going on here. Anyway, we're doing great in the room. We're very happy with everything, and we're very pleased with where we're at. But it's been an education talking to this manager just how things have gone here. And in the U.S., it's the same with with numbers much lower than projected and predicted. And oil is going to be sloshing all over the place. And these oil guys are now praying. They're now hoping out hope. There's going to be a cold winter. That's what they're hoping for, a cold winter. They're not talking about economic recovery. They're not talking about economic expansion. They're not talking about international need for oil. No, they're hoping for a cold winter. That tells me that there is more oil out there than we need, and that this price here will not hold 70 much longer. It's about to crap out. And I think there's going to be a storage problem coming up. Another one, which we had about a year and a half ago. We had a storage problem where oil went negative in price, which we'd never seen before, ever. Not that you guys got oil at 80 cents a gallon. Did any of you guys get oil at 80 cents a gallon or gas from your gas station? I didn't see any cheap gas. In Creston, we saw it at like 125 a liter instead of 140 a liter. That's all we saw there because the government just takes so much of it. It's unbelievable. Anyway, there you have it. We'll see what's going on. Anyway, thank you all for being here and joining me. So appreciate it. Those of you who are members, thank you so much for being members. Those of you who are subscribers, thank you for being subscribers. Those of you who are just casually watching, I hope you're learning a little bit about the market today and every day. We try to explain the stock markets in plain English here as best as we can. And again, I thank you. Anti-PC is wondering, is there a mirror in your ceiling? Is there a hot tub in this place? Where are you at, man? What can I say? We're in a top secret high-end hotel location that I can't give up right now. And we're going to have to leave it at that. JMac is saying, I picked up 5 $380 January 2023 calls. Bruce, thanks for the tip. There you go. I don't know what he bought there in. Did you $380 calls? Did you buy Goldman Sachs? I'm thinking you did. I'm just guessing. Happy Pappy. I am now the proud owner of my first Goldman Sachs position. April 14th, 2021, $410 calls. Now let's go to $700 a share. How about them apples? Yes, that would be lovely. That'd be all good. Can we get Judge Judy to straighten out the big boys in China? Can that we have? Let's see. Laundry done. Green day for me, says Ferrigan. Welcome. Welcome one, welcome all. I'm glad you're all here. Let's see. Hey, Bruce. Can all these bad news stories like China with the Evergrande thing create a slingshot effect? Like the markets want to go higher after all? Well, it depends on how deep the problems go. The good news, I'm going to say, for those of us in, say, North America, the really good news is that no matter what mutual fund you own, no matter what ETF you're investing in, your pension funds, through your work and all that, I doubt they have any exposure to Chinese real estate. I really doubt they have anything like that whatsoever. And even if you did have a pension fund out there that was investing in Chinese real estate bonds, they would have bought insurance against default. So they're all covered. But I can't imagine even 1/100th of 1% of any pension funds or mutual funds being involved in Chinese investments or in Chinese junk bonds through real estate. I can't imagine it. But I can see private hedge funds being leveraged to the max. Oh yeah. There will be hedge fund massacres. There will be wipeouts, but mainly overseas. They're not GameStop shareholders. They're not Rocket Lab shareholders. They're not. No. There are international hedge funds that do not invest in North America, and then there are hedge funds that only invest in North America, do not invest outside. There are some that do both, but not enough to affect us here. I doubt that's going to happen whatsoever. But we'll watch it. We'll see what's going on. Stock prices. ME went positive. It's up a penny right now. We got green there. ATIP got green for a bit. I think it's still now down 6.5 cents again. Sextera only down 12 cents right now. So we're coming along. IBM is only down 58 cents. It can turn too. We got Rocket Lab at 14.42, down 98 cents. It hit a low of 14.27 about 20 minutes ago, but it's now at 14.45. We've got 711,000 volume there. SoFi down a quarter, or down 24 cents at 14.86. It's still climbing up. It's kind of like going up 2 steps down, 1 up, down. Like it started low and now it's just coming back up. Down 22 right now at 14.87. The low is 14.54. We've got GameStop at 198.98. It's trying to hit 199 now. 676 is the loss approximately on 370,000 volume. We have very little volume here on GameStop today. Let's see if I can get some more quotes here. Matterport, 2097 is what I'm showing. And there we go. Refresh it. 2102, $21 on Matterport, down $1.20. The low 2035 today, now at 2095. So 60-cent gain from the low of the day on Matterport. And not a lot going on at this point. It's just kind of settling in for a bit. We've had an unbelievable week and a half on Matterport. 3 weeks ago, we were like $14-15 a share. Now we're at 21-22. You can write call options on this stuff. Well done, everybody. Enjoy the ride. Start bringing money in on Matterport. 23andMe down 4 cents now. 8.30. We got as high as 8.40. So we're jumping around a bit here in 286,000 to be expected. Smart Rent down 47 cents. The low of 13.15 now 13.23. Spire 13.08 down 62 cents. It was as low as 11.69. So 12.69, 79, 89, 99. $39. That's like $1.40. It's $1.40 recovery, practically $1.39 recovery. It's down only 62 cents. Not a bad recovery in 30 minutes. Yeah, we're now at the 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock Eastern time. 30 minutes. Rocket Spire went from 1169 to 1308. Yeah, that's a recovery. That's not going to last those cheap prices. 323,000. I don't know. Did any of you score any of this Spire? Any of you guys were any of you guys able to buy some calls on Spire or stock on Spire? Super cheap today. ATIP 343 down a dime. Sextera down 9 cents right now. That's where we're at. All right, let's see what's going on. What else is going on here? Just to check any more comments here. I bought back a Spire covered call this morning before the roller coaster could get going again. Beautiful job. You'll be able to write a new covered call later today the way this is going. Here, Uncle Bruce, SoFi calls are super cheap right now. Thank you at NDPC. What are your thoughts on good date strikes? Yes, definitely. January, next April, get out there, scoop up 15s, 1250s. Grab those guys if you can. If they're cheap, buy them. Buy them. Let's see what else is being said here as we catch up with your content. Good morning, everybody. Hi, John. How you doing? British shilling, how's it going? I'm in the UK. There's no such thing as cheap gas. Auntie, we saw gas much cheaper than it is now. Let's see. I remember a friend of mine jumped into oil when it went down. He made a nice amount of money for that. Motel L, we'll leave light. Motel 8, we'll leave light on for you. There you go. I had written Spire 1250 calls that expired last Friday. Spires 1250s that expired last Friday. And I did get up and getting exercise, but I also got to buy back in at 12:10 this morning. I've learned my lesson not to do that, though. There you go. So thankfully you bought them back and you're fine. And now you can get ready to write again. So, get ready to write maybe 15s or something like that, but go, get out. But really under 20, this one here, it's going to go. You got to let this thing expire now, 1308. So it's coming on. Anyway, there you are. Yeah, Bruce, what price on Matterport should we be looking at to buy our calls back? I would wait right now and just let time be your friend here. Let time depreciate these contracts. Of course, the stock's down $1.13 from the close on Friday. I know a lot of you started writing options on Matterport as soon as it broke 20. You started writing at 2050, 2075, 21, 20, 21 and a quarter, 21 and a half. You were writing. What's going to happen here, of course, is this Friday contracts will between now and Friday, they shrink with time value. Next Friday is going to shrink. The Friday after that, they're shrinking. So let the shrinkage continue with time depreciation. Let's keep an eye on the stock as it will do some fluctuating as anyone would. And this one has had such a good run from a month ago to here. And so if you can scoop a 50% return on your contract, you can buy them for half price or less. Or 1/3 of the price you wrote them at. Keep an eye looking for that. You might just buy them back and just wait. Stock pops up a little bit again. Write calls again, 2250s or 25s. Some of you were writing $20 calls purposely in the money, expecting the stock that might go below 20 between now and when those contracts expire. Good strategy to consider, but you may find that you wrote them at, say, $4 and they only come down to $2. So they don't go any lower. You buy them back at $2 and scoop your $2 and then wait for your next opportunity to write again, whether you're writing the same week or a week later. Different pricing. You might write 2250s for like a month out and look for those to depreciate. There's all kinds of tactics now coming up that we're going to keep an eye on. And we've only just begun. Yeah. What else? J Max saying, yeah, I wrote those calls. I bought those calls on Goldman Sachs, Bruce. Those are what the 365s or something like that. Yeah, way to go. Okay. Let's see. Samuel Nicholas, I wrote mine out for a month, and I'm just going to wait. Time is going to do all the work for us. Exactly. It's just going to make you nothing but money as these things depreciate out. Nice. Let's see. I caught the dip on Rocket Lab and sold A January 22 $20 put for 9 big ones. Nice. Nice. Yes. Beautiful job. I like it. I like it. Score the $9 price on that $20 put. You're committing to buy Rocket Lab at $11. Yeah, something tells me you're not going to be buying Rocket Lab at $11 because I don't think it's going down there. Nice. Is GameStop pinging up, Bruce? I got it at $200.53, so it's over 200. Still down 444, but it's looking good. Shrinkage. I was in the pool. I don't know what's more red, my portfolio or this nosebleed that I just can't stop. Showering with a nosebleed is just awful. I can still taste blood. Jesus, Murphy. Oh, Geo. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with you. J Mac, looking at Spire $14 calls for May 2022. There's a huge spread, though, 135 on the bid to mid price. Is that unusual? Yes, it is. Well, it is and isn't. It can be unusual if it's an actively traded stock, but it's not unusual with brand new listings that are less than 6 months old, and Spire is very new. So if you're looking to buy this contract, you only bid a penny above the bid price. So maybe offer to pay 136, 138. Don't be buying the price that the guy's asking for. Never do that, especially on a wide spread. Never. The 135 price might be a market specialist that's just making a market on the bid. Just go a penny ahead of the specialist. The specialist will thank you for it. They'll leave you alone and let you have any stock that comes your way, any contracts that come your way. I want 80 cents a gallon on gas, but I still keep my job as long as I'm specific. It'll be what I gotta be careful what I wish for. There you go. Rob is thinking, J-Mac, you probably have very little volume on those contracts, and that's probably why they're not. They don't have much of a tight spread on it. That's likely it as well. Rocket Lab, $14.37, down $1.04. SoFi down 23 cents to $14.86. GameStop now up again, $201.48, down $3.49 coming on. Matterport, $20.79, down $1.46. ME only down 7 cents to $8.28. SmartRent down 45 cents to $13.25. Spire down 66 at $13.05. ATIP down a dime. Sextera down 8 cents. Pennies here. AMC down $1.36, Robinhood down $1.26, Manic down $5.50, Home Depot down only 87 cents. It's a $334 stock. It's coming back. IBM $134.72, down 51 cents. The Dow down 422 right now at this moment. Watching the Dow closely, 422 at the moment. Microsoft down $4, Apple down $2.68, Tesla down $21. Bed Bath & Beyond positive, up 7 cents. BlackBerry down 31, Royal Caribbean down 72. It's coming back on. Goldman down 11.64, 379.82. The bargain is still a bargain, and time is on your side. But I'll tell you, sooner or later this thing is going to pop, and when it pops, it'll go up $15 a day for 5 days in a row, and then think nothing of going up $10 a day for 10 days in a row. It can, it could. I'm not saying it will, but you cannot trade under 7 times earnings for long of a company of that quality and that caliber. No way. The next earnings report coming out in about 2 months on Goldman will likely show it trading at 5 times earnings or less. There's no way that will not stand. Not in my opinion. It will not last. Just thinking. Just saying. Okay, what else is going on here? Good morning, everybody from Hector. How you doing, man? Bama Babe. I just took in over $1,000 in premium for one covered call on GameStop. I watched your covered call tutorial this past weekend. I watched you, Bruce. I'm watching you closely. I'm watching you every day. You can't hide from me. Okay. I know what to do if the shares go up or down. Nice. Way to go, Bama Babe. You're doing it. This is good stuff. Oh, I love reading stuff like that. I love reading stuff like that. Nicholas, SoFi, we need that bank charter. Stock should be $45 next year. $65. $85. Takeover target, $200. Yes. We're down 22 cents right now, but only 22 cents at $14.88. SoFi looking good. Where do I buy puts on this Skopnik oil? I don't know what that is. In Russia, oil drives you. I have no idea what's going on here. Too close, Bruce. Too close. It's too close. Bruce, you're too close. Don't come too close to me like that. Oh, man. I had fun this weekend. I had a good time. I went to the dentist on Saturday and had a root canal. You want to see it? I'm not showing you. I had a root canal. Um, they asked me if, hey, would you like a mirror so you can see what we're doing? I said, no, no, that's okay. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. No, I don't need to see the needles going in. I don't need to see the drill going in. I don't need to see you probing down there and doing what you're doing. No, I'm just gonna, you just give me these glasses, these sunglass type protectors, and I'm just gonna close my eyes. And if I can fall asleep, I'm gonna do it because I don't want to be here. Erico, I love the close-ups. Come on, man. I love it when you get nice and close to the screen. I love it. It's great. It's A2 Obama, A2. Spire says set to closing trades only. Anyone else see this? I have no idea what that means. Sounds wonderful. Did you use the laughing gas? No, no, no. So I like the dentist. I've never had this guy before. He's about 60, 63, about my age, and very talkative. And I tried to talk, but it's difficult. I'm talking to you. He first he put that, he takes that Q-tip, which is all covered in that goo, that freezing goo. What do they call that stuff? They call that. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. You can buy it at the grocery store, the pharmacy, a little tube that numbs your gum and stuff. I use it from time to time. Anyway, he put that on there. He really liberally caked the gum area around the tooth for that. And then he had the needle, and he said, okay, let me give you the first shot. And gentle, and I couldn't feel a thing. It was really, he was just putting it in there. And I think it took 30 seconds, 40 seconds for him to fully inject the, what is that, Novocaine or what that stuff's called. And then we just chatted casually for a minute or two. And he says, how are your lips? Can you feel your lips? And I'm going, I completely. Yeah, I feel my lips completely. There's no numbing at all. So, okay, I'll give you a little more. Oh, okay. So he gets the second one, and he puts that one in. You can't feel the second one because the first one's already numbing up that whole region. So he just injected. And we wait 5 more minutes, 2 or 3, 4 minutes. He said, how about, can you feel your lips? I said, yeah, I can feel my lips. Oh, okay, I'll give you a little more. So he gives me some more. And he says, how about now? I said, well, there's a little bit of tingliness over here. It's a little tingly. Oh, okay, it's working. We'll try one more thing. I want to make sure you're good and medicated. So he has his metal tools, and he just gently, he says, tell me if you feel anything here other than the pressure. So I think he's just kind of pushing the tool up against the tooth that's in question. And I said, oh yeah, I can feel the pressure, but I can also feel a bit of a pain there. He says, that's what I want to hear. Yeah, okay, we'll give you some more. Well, he froze the jaw up, like fully froze it up, and I appreciated it. I said, oh yeah, just hit me with this stuff. So I don't want to feel a dang thing. I don't want to feel it. So finally, after the fourth one, I was numb from here to here, and I could talk, but yeah, I could tell you all about my YouTube channel. You want to watch my YouTube channel? Yeah. I said, perfect. You got it, Doc. We're right there now. We're there. Okay. So then they put that plastic on you, and they expose the tooth as its own little thing. And, all right, we'll get started on. And then you got to work, and no pain whatsoever. I mean, just no pain. It's just, and he's telling me what he's doing. He says, okay, we're going to do this now. And we're going to measure this. And he said, we got this new machine that we got last year. We put these electrodes down, these probes, to find the root. And I said, this is so much better than the 1960s. I'll tell you right now, it's so much better because we don't have to guess anymore. I'm going, thank goodness. He said, and it speeds up the whole thing. Thank goodness it speeds things up. So they found the roots. Oh yeah, it's all good here. We'll get to them. We're disinfecting. Get the infection out. We'll do it. Whatever they do. I don't remember everything. And then they had to leave me for 10 minutes. I got to leave you for 10 minutes. I got to do a quick checkup over here. I'm going to let everything here settle in. We got some anti whatever to kill off germs. We're going to let that settle in there, and you just relax. Okay, I just closed my eyes. I fell asleep. I was just, it was great. Then he came back. He says, "How you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm doing great. I'm having a nap." This is, oh, that's good. You're the perfect patient. You're perfect. So he finished up another 30 minutes later, 40 minutes later, all done. Covered it all up. And he says, "You're coming back Wednesday anyway?" I said, "Yep, it's my birthday on Wednesday. I'm coming in." He said, "Well, we'll get you all purdied up on Wednesday. We'll put a permanent filling in there, and then we'll tackle a cavity you got, and then we'll set you up for another thing, and then we'll get you." I got four more appointments in the next 10 days, 12 days before we're out of here. So yeah, but the big one is done. The big one, the root canal is done, and we're now moving on. Okay. Now he doesn't talk during drilling. He kind of talks when he's putting in those things, and he says, "Kids are the best." He says, "The kids want to see what I'm doing. I love it with kids. I show them to get the mirror, and they can watch what I'm doing, and I'm telling what's going on, and they don't feel a thing, and they think this is great." He says, "I've had patients that have become dentists because I let them see with the mirror what's going on. They become dentists." He says, "I've got 9 now. I've taken 9 patients and people I've known, and I've trained them to become dentists through dental school and through consultations with me." He said, "It's a great feeling to know that I'm passing the trade on to others." I'm going, that is pretty cool stuff. It's kind of like being a YouTuber. It's kind of neat. So there you go. What can I say? We're doing it. We're surviving it. We're better. Anyway, there you have it. Welcome one, welcome all to the show. Let's see what's going on here with our deals here. I don't know if it was Novocaine. I don't know what that stuff's called anymore. I'm not an expert in the area. All I know is that when he puts that stuff in there, it numbs it up, and that's what we want. It was interesting because we came back, Jen and I got back to the hotel with Jen, and she said, "Are you hungry?" I said, "Yeah, I'm starving. I haven't eaten for hours now." But I wanted to wait until the freezing in the lips kind of went away because I didn't want to go to the restaurant and drool all over the table. And so about an hour after we got back here, the freezing was all gone. And I could speak normally. And I still had freezing on the tooth in the gum area because it was receding. I said, "I'm ready to go. Let's go eat." So we went downstairs in this high-end restaurant. There, a high-end hotel, a secret location that I'm at. It's a nice little restaurant down here. And we went down for this wonderful meal. And I could eat normally, no problem at all. Had a wonderful meal. Lasted about an hour and a quarter. It was great, and great service. And then we came back up and all done. And then about an hour later, I noticed that the freezing was now just to the tooth itself. And then about an hour later, I could feel a little bit of pain because I had a guy kind of working on it. And so I began the Tylenols and slept really well. Woke up the next morning, had 2 more Tylenols, and I did a one-on-one consultation at 9 Eastern, and had to be careful with the one tooth because it was very sensitive. But the Oragel, that's the stuff I use. That Oragel, that gook that you put on a Q-tip, or you put it on a little tool that you can slide through your teeth. I use that, and it is miracle. It's a miracle drug, over the counter, anytime you want. So I had Oragel that area, and then I had taken some Tylenol, and I did my 1-hour consultation. No problem. And ate some yogurt for breakfast. No bagels. Can't eat anything crunchy because nothing on this side. Survived yesterday. This morning, I feel a ton better. There's ever so little sensitivity left, and it's disappearing quickly, and I haven't had to take a Tylenol this morning, so I'm really pleased at the recovery. It's coming along. So interesting how it all works. How this business, how this whole thing about the tooth thing, it's incredible, the dentistry. What a change. So I'm looking forward to getting it over with. And when I do these dental procedures, I try to get them done as fast as possible. Just get in there, get it done, and get out of here. I don't want to see you guys for a couple of years. So let's get it done, and I'll see you around, and I can forget about it because I don't want to have one every 3 months. I just don't want to live that panic of, oh God, 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, 10 days from now. I don't want that. No. So there you go. Let's see here. Uncle Bruce, what do you think about flipping Matterport to Rocket Lab since it's so cheap. No dry powder. I wouldn't do that. I can see Matterport going, higher soon, sooner higher than Rocket Lab. Not that it won't. I mean, it might totally shock me in that Matterport sits at 2021 and Rocket Lab goes to 2021. I'm wrong, but you got a winner, ride a winner. But if you get more powder, you get powder. If you can write calls on your Matterport and use the money to buy calls on Rocket Lab, then you could do that. Anyway, there it is. Let's see what else is going on. Thank you everybody for being here. Jen, you're looking for something. How you doing?
Hi, I'm looking for an extension cord.
An extension cord.
Mm-hmm.
A
Plug in
second.
your toaster.
Ooh. Ooh. Yes. Ooh.
I could probably plug it in over there and it would reach.
Yeah, probably would.
I'll try that.
See, someone is plotting to make me a bagel, and someone needs a toaster oven to be plugged in properly. We're having a problem with the plug over here on their counter. It seems to kick out. So we're not sure why that does that, but it does. Because it sucks too much energy, and so we're having those issues. But there are certain places we have plugs here. I have brought an extension cord with me, but I'm using it right now for all the devices I'm using here. And I don't recall a second extension cord because I thought, why would I need two? Now you know. Now apparently I know when you're in a hotel room and you want to plug in extra stuff. I guess there you go. What can I say? Hey, Cool Hand Lee says, hey, I wish someone would tell Royal Caribbean they're not making any money. Maybe the stock might go down a bit. Dang it. Hey, there you go. Good morning, Jen from John Anderson. Good morning, Jen from Larry Titus. Don't eat that bagel, Bruce. You'll regret it. You'll regret it. Call the front desk for an extension cord. We can always do that. Let's see. Oh, I would have given a super chat to watch him eat the bagel while on the Novocaine. Cool, Lee. You never have enough extension cords. We had like 5 at the house. 4 are packed in the storage center. 1 is with me to travel with, just 1. But yeah, when you need them, you really need them, right? That's just how it is. Tell the manager to send up an extension cord. We know we can do that. We're down $1.10 on Rocket Lab. We're down 33 cents on SoFi. We're at $200.43 on GameStop. I'll get it out. $200.43 down 454 on GameStop. Matterport down $1.14 at 21.10 at the moment. Low of the day 20.35. We're now ME down only 4 cents right at the moment. We're down 41 on Smart Rent. We're down 121 on Spire at 12.50. ATIP down 7 cents. Sextera down 13. AMC down 174. That's a recovered a bit. Robinhood down 157. Vanik down 589. Home Depot down 219. IBM down 89 cents. The Dow down 527 right now. The low of the day 987. 33,987. We're at 34.56. So we're still 113, 160, 170 points up from the low, but we are off at the moment 527. That's 1.5%, but that is the best performing market because the S&P is down 1.67%, the Dow's down 2%, the Nasdaq is down 2%, the Dow's only down 1.5%. And there it is. What can I say? Cisco Systems stock price raised, target price raised to $69 from $60 at MKM Partners. So MKM Partners analysts are upping the target for Cisco to $69 a share from $60 a share. That's one of my favorites. It's a good steady performer. Cisco is at the moment $56.10. Down 75 cents. So that's the kind of stock you could buy options on, but I would buy 55s. I'd buy 56. If you could buy 50s, you can buy in the money contracts on Cisco, good till next summer. That's the way you want to go. So if Cisco does go to 65, 69, you'll have made yourself a nice couple of dollars on that. Very conservative stock. Nicely played, everybody. Hey, Jen.
Hey.
What's going on? How you doing?
Well, I think I found a plug-in.
Oh, great.
It works. So shall we try it?
I'm up for a bagel.
Let's see if we can set the place on fire.
Well, let's see if I can even chew it.
Well, there's that.
I will be working on one side only.
One side only.
But the other side
One thing only, Mr.
it's getting better. I can actually quasi bite down on it.
Oh, look at that.
Without
Is
excruciating
that
pain.
putting your tongue in between and giving it a little nod?
No, that's I don't like doing that. I like biting myself. But it is better, yeah. So
did you tell them what today is? It's a
uh,
big day in Canada.
oh yes, I forgot to tell them that. See, this is the thing between Canada and the United States that my American friends just don't get it. Today is election day.
That's right.
Today is November the 4th. But you poor people in the United States, you poor Americans, you have every 2 years these elections, and every 4 years you have the presidential election, which takes 2 years. And you get these millions of ads that you have to tolerate, and all the hate and all the everything. We have a 30-day campaign. It's over tonight. The election is tonight.
Well,
that's it.
For Calgary, they have their municipal in a month.
Well,
But,
okay,
you know.
but that's scheduled every 4 years or whatever. That's
Yeah,
always scheduled.
Yeah.
But the federal
It's
election,
called.
we never know when we go to the polls in Canada, because just like in the UK, we're a parliamentary democracy here, so we don't have
a non-com vote.
we don't have votes every 4 years set in advance. This election was called by the Prime Minister with 31 days to go, and here we go. It's all over tonight, and thank God. We've had enough of it already. We've had enough of our election. 31, get it over with. Get it done with. Let's move on. But you poor Americans, you guys are drowning in this crap for years. You have to tolerate this garbage and all of these primaries and town halls. And, oh, what a waste of time and money, you poor people. You could be watching good quality television. You got to watch that instead. Good Lord. It's sad. Anyway, there it is. Let's see. GameStop is without much price volatility and seems comfortable around 200 rather than the frustrating 165 prior to last earnings. You're kind of right. It is sitting here at $200.01. That's where it is. Let's see. That Jagmeet Singh guy is kind of cool. Well, we do have we have two guys who are either going to be prime minister or not. The third guy, Jagmeet, whatever his name, he's Singh. He's the leader of the NDP, which is kind of like the left wing of the Democrats, like way over here.
Bernie Sanders endorsed him.
Bernie Sanders endorsed him. To give you an idea, they get 21% of the national vote, but they'll only end up with about 8% of the seats in Parliament because they can't break through in Quebec. They never will. They break through in certain parts of the country. In other parts of the country, they haven't got a hope. And then the Republicans, which are conservatives, they're strong in the West, where the Alberta is, which is where we are, oil country. It's all, very business oriented here, very right wing. They're wishy-washy in Ontario, which is where you have to break through because that's where most of the Canadians live. And then there's Quebec, and that's the wild card. And Quebec is fractured between the Liberals and a party known as the Quebecois Party, which only fields candidates in Quebec. They won't field a candidate outside of Quebec because then no one will vote for them. And in Quebec, they get about 30 seats out of the 85 seats that are available. And so you have this little tiny regional party in the Parliament of Canada that just wastes.
Whose charter is to separate.
Whose charter is to separate from the country, and yet they have to pledge
Parliament.
Allegiance to the Queen
Yeah.
to be in there.
Yeah.
And they're just a waste of our time, and they're a waste of our money. And they're a way to vent for Quebecers, which is a waste for Quebecers because now they don't get government ministers, they don't get cabinet positions in these places. They just screw themselves by doing it, but they do it every election. They screw themselves again and again and again. And the rest of us look at them and just go, "You guys are a waste of time. You're just a waste of time. You're Canadians, but you're not, and you're kind of Canadians, and you're not." And we just don't care. We just don't care. No Western Canadian is going to build a factory in Quebec and hire Quebecers. You can't trust them because they do this crap. So we don't. They stay economically challenged, and
And they bring in racist rules.
and they bring in all these rules to preserve the Quebec culture and the French culture. Knock yourselves out. And the only way you can keep your culture is if you can create enough children to grow your population and become a factor in the country. But you're not, because it's so economically difficult in Quebec. In certain areas, they won't have kids, and so it's a defeating thing. And we just in the West, we throw our hands up and go, do whatever. We don't care. Whatever you want, just go your own way with what you're doing. We love you as Canadians, but we're not going to waste our time worrying about your needs, because we got our own problems out here, and we're just going to move on. And so that's it. This country is so fractured. You think America's fractured? Oh, you got nothing on Canada. We have 5 different parties. We're all over the map everywhere. And yet we just kind of go, whatever. As long as the campaign is less than 31 days, fine. Let's just do this every 3 or 4 years and get it over with. And then let me get back to what I have to do, because none of these guys pay my bills. I pay my own bills. And that's what most Canadians think about, that only the vulnerable need the government to get by on, and the rest of us just pay into it. So the less, the better, and we just move ahead with life. Anyway, some people hate that, but that's the way it is around here. It's goofy. It's goofy. It's crazy. All right, what else is going on here? Thank you for being here, everybody. Let's see. Let's see. Will there be any NDP seats in Alberta this time around? I don't know. Maybe 1 or 2, but I would be surprised. Anyway. Oh man. Let's see what else is going on here. Oh my God. We got like 15 parties in the Netherlands. Yeah, I mean, some European countries are like way out of there, like out of control. I don't think in Italy they've had a majority government since the Second World War. I don't think any one party gets a majority vote after 70 years. Even now, there still isn't a politician that gets majority under themselves. Even Germany, you need coalition governments to work. And yet Germany has its act together in many ways. Germany has its act together financially. It runs a government surplus like you can't believe. They pay negative interest rates on their debt because they don't need the debt money. Unemployment in Germany is always very, very low. Productivity is always very, very high. Education is all covered. Medical is all covered. Germans, you can say they pay higher taxes, but they get stuff for their money. And no government can get majority. And yet you think that with the government that has the most seats, the party with the most seats would be getting rewarded by Germans for how good it is, and they don't. It doesn't matter. So there's no ending to this nonsense. There is no end to it. It continues on. Everyone checks everyone else. No one trusts anybody. I hear what you're saying, and I believe you, but I don't trust you. There you go. And let's move on. Cody, hey, Uncle Bruce, can I write a January 2023 put on ATIP, strike of $7.50, and I can pull in a $5 premium? I'm promising to buy the stock at $2.50. Any problems with this idea? No, there's no problem with this idea. The stock is, ATIP is now $3.51. You're writing a put to $7.50, so you're prepared to pay $7.50 a share. But they're giving you $5 up front in cash, so you're really paying $2.50 when the stock is trading right now at $3.51. So if they were to exercise you right away, you'd score a $1 gain. You'd go, thank you, I just made $1 a share. Yeah, you bet. If the stock goes up to $5 in the next 6 months, and you want out of this deal, you can just buy the put back on the open market from any put seller, the same put. And it's only worth $2.50 book value, right? Plus whatever time premium it's got. So it might be trading at maybe $3.50, $3.75, and you sold it for $5, buy it back for $3.50, and you score a $1.50 gain. Now, if the stock goes to $7.50 a share in the next year, I mean, you've got a long time here for this thing. You've got January 2023. This is September 2021. But if in the next year the stock hits $7.50, or in the next 3 months, 6 months, it hits $7.50, stays there a while, this contract has no value. It only has time value. It might only be trading at $2, $2.50. you can score it back and score 50% gain on your investment. So the stock goes up $1.50 a share. The contract will drop $1.50 a contract. Stock goes up $4 a share from $3.50 to $7.50. This contract will drop about $3.50 a pop, and you'll make your money that way. Yeah. In the meantime, you're sitting on this cash balance. So yeah, sure, you can do that. But I would really look at closer inputs, maybe. Yeah, maybe look at January 2022's. Maybe you can write puts that are in a dollar increment instead of 250 increments. I don't know if they exist, so I'm not sure. But still, writing a 750, you can do that for this January, next January, or April, or whatever option strikes there are. Yeah, certainly. It's a way to play that market. I am always so amused when Canadians refer to us as Americans when they're also part of the North American continent. Well, we're not Americans. We're Canadians. We're North Americans combined. We're all North Americans. There's so many similarities between us, between Canada and America. So many, probably 85% similarity. And then there's the differences. And there's regional differences. So you compare someone in Maine to someone in Vancouver, or you compare somebody from Florida to somebody in Quebec. You compare someone from New Mexico to someone in Alberta. I mean, there's even more regional differences. But all in all, we as the people of Canada and America, we get along great. We get along very, very well. The politicians on each side, they're looking for votes, and they need controversy sometimes to get votes. And so they create the muck. And there you go. Right there it is. Canada does have revolutions. The last one's called the Quiet Revolution. Shh, we're Canadian. We don't want to mention those. Mexico's also North America. That's true too. That is true. Robert, that was an interesting article on Yuho Finance that said that 1/3 of working age men don't work in America. Interesting. Cheryl, hey Uncle B, thanks. Do you think I should roll out my $12 strike ME calls for January for fewer $10 strike April calls? I'm down 75%. You could look at it. There's probably still some value to your 12s, 1250s, or whatever you got. I mean, you're bringing it closer and you're going longer, right? So that's a smart move on both ends. But you're gonna pay a price for it. But you're closer in, of course. And if the shares react to they get to the $11 neighborhood, you're $1 in the money now with more time, and so they will have a $2-3 value. You'll quickly get to break even that way. But on the other hand, if you have 12s for December and the stock reaches 11 in the next month or so, you're only $1 out with more contracts and with regard. But again, there's strategies here. Yeah, I've been able to figure out on how to write calls for the stocks in one account, calls in another. Don't know if you can do that. They might have to be in the same. You got to check with your broker on that one. Can't help you there for sure. Where are we at now on our whole markets here? We're down 485 on the Dow. We're down 65 on S&P. We're down 299 on NASDAQ. NASDAQ is still down 1.98%. S&P down 0.47 and Dow down 1.3. So the Dow is still the best performer. NASDAQ still the worst performer. And we're kind of hanging around here. The U.S. to ease travel ban for vaccinated passengers from the EU, UK reports say. That is the latest news out of the European area. That's good news for airlines. If fully vaccinated passengers are allowed to travel into the U.S. with eased up restrictions, that would be good for business. We're waiting for Canada. We'd like to know if a land border would open up between us where we can drive into the U.S. being fully vaccinated. That would be kind of nice. Look at what we got us here. How did it work out for Toaster? Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of toasted. Let's see.
Is it hot?
No. It's warm.
Here you go.
Thank you so much. Can I get a topper on that?
Yes.
Thank you. But it's a Costco bagel. We love them. They're Costco bagels. I'm being very careful though. I'm chewing over here, not over here. It's going to take a while to eat these, but it's a journey. It's a journey of happiness. Oh my gosh, we got the bagel. Anyway, there you go. Let's see here. The Credit average says January Rocket Lab puts are over 900. If you sell a $20 right now, it would be awesome to get that at $10, $10 a piece. Rocket Lab 1426. So the lower the stock goes, the higher this put will be trading at, which will bring in a larger premium if you dare to write it. Committing to buy the stock at 11. You want to be exercised right now. You'd like to write the put right now at the highest price possible, $9 or more, and be told you must pay $20 a share right now to buy the stock. You'll go, okay, I got 9 here from the option. I got 11 over here in my account. Okay, and I'll turn around and sell them at $14.26. I'll score a $3.26 gain if you make me buy them right now. Oh, anytime. Make me buy them. Go ahead. Go ahead. That would be great. I heard the ding. You better take the tile now, Bruce. Emmy's my lone green canyon in the box. Crayon. My lone green crayon in the box. Laughing out loud. The lone green crayon. That's not easy to say. SoFi went back down. We're down 45 cents. You could always take a look at writing a $20 puts on SoFi too. I don't know if you get the same premium that you would on Rocket Lab though. GameStop 199.36 down 561. Matterport down 166 to 20.59. We got a wave coming in here, negative wave. We're down 515 on the Dow, now 515. Yeah, 71 on S&P, down 318 on Nasdaq. So a little sell wave. Might be the last one of the day. Might not. We'll see. Just look for bargains, kids. Look for bargains. This is the day you write puts. This is the day you write put contracts. Looking for stocks that are falling off that shouldn't be doing that. ME's up a penny. Woohoo! Spire down 90. ATIP down a half a penny. Sixterra down 14 cents. Yep, but the market is turning down at the moment. It's getting into a bit of a negative wave. Down 505 at the moment. All right. Let them do what they must do. Bruce, is ATIP even worth it at 350? Let's just say this. The market cap of ATIP, I was looking at this the other day. The market cap of ATIP is $693 million. Cash on hand, I think, is over 300 million or 400 million. So more than half the value of the company is cash. The rest of the value are the 900 plus physiotherapy centers. This stock is way underpriced for what it's got. But they don't have a CEO yet. We're waiting. So we have to wait for the company to do its thing. But it's a buy here. You can buy the stock super cheap, or you can buy the contracts super cheap. 250s or 5s, way up. Credit Savage says, I love football, and the Raiders are my team, but I have also been following the LA teams because of the stadium, SoFi Stadium. All I hear is how amazing the state of art and its looks, how great it is. Yet the stock tanks. Boo. Well, the how nice the stadium is not going to make SoFi any money. SoFi doesn't own the stadium. They don't make a dime off of any beer sold there, any ticket sales, parking revenue. They make nothing. They only have their name on the damn thing. So it's named SoFi Stadium, but they have no economic benefit from it whatsoever. It's a way for the company to be promoted, and it's a long-term investment is what this is. So there are days, weeks, months where SoFi stock will not, reflect what SoFi Stadium is reflecting. But it's all good. It's a good thing. I'm glad they do have their name on that stadium. With the Super Bowl coming up, I like it. Thank you. Way out, like 2025. Way out. 515 on the down dip, on the Dow. 72 on the S&P, down 322 on NASDAQ. Right there. Any of you folks wrote contracts on certain stocks, you might be looking at buying back some call contracts here. Matterport, 2061. We'll see. See if some of you can scoop some cheap contracts here. Time will be your friend, for sure. Goldman Sachs, 376, down $14 a share. Bargoon City. Low of the day, 375.54. If you can scoop up $350 call contracts, good for next summer, in the money for very little premium, and then use those as your weapon to write short-term call contracts, keep an eye on that. You get the calls now, sit back, let the stock pop up to 375, like about 385, range 390, start writing 395 and $400 contracts. Look at those 2-3 weeks out. Now you're talking. Now you're talking. Absolutely. Let's see if I can get this to pop up. Yeah, there it is. Naming rights are a liability. It's just an expense. I agree. Is there a risk that ATP does buybacks? No, they're not going to do buybacks. No, I see nothing like that. Chris, I understand they have the rights for 20 years, though, but I guess I'd expect the positive promotion to bump it a bit, but it does take time. Yeah, and it's just part of the strategy. I mean, you know how much advertising they're doing on TV and everywhere else. It's just part of the big strategy to get the word up. Richard Harris, $5 donation. Thank you, Richard, so much for that. Cheap contracts and cheap shares are the name of the game this morning. Exactly. Or try leaps. Exactly. By way of. Yes, lots to watch and look for. But days like today are where you write put contracts. Today is put writing contract day if you believe in upside. Like Goldman Sachs. The problem, of course, with that is you can write Goldman Sachs put contracts, but you got to put up the cash to be able to buy 100 shares of Goldman Sachs. So you're going to write $350 put contracts on Goldman. You have to put up $35,000 per contract. That's the catch. If you write, say, a $400 Goldman Sachs contract, good for next year. You got a fat premium, but you got to put up 40 grand to get it. And you're parking that money until that. Now, if you park $40,000 and you can get paid, I don't know, $50 a share, $60 a share, I'm just guessing, I don't know what they are. Bring in 5 or 6 grand against 40,000 for 6 or 8 months. That's a nice return on your money if you get it all. So that's a thought. All right. Uncle Bruce, I wrote last week $25 Matterport covered calls for October. Scored $350, and today I bought it back and wrote $20, same expiry, and scored another $300 thanks to you. There you go. Right up. Way to go. So you bought them back for a cheaper price and wrote 20s at the same time frame, and away you go. There you are. And if the stock wants to back off a little bit, you're going to take advantage of this. Absolutely. Matterport, 2076. Stock goes to $19 on a bit of a pullback, which would not be unreasonable considering how far it ran. You can buy those 20 backs and score some more money and then sit back, see if the stock pops back to 2021, write 2250s or write 20s, and away we go. Yes, indeed. Welcome to the market. Nicholas, hey, Uncle B, since you joined us at the beginning and the end of the day, that is where most of the trades are. Are the ends of the day the best time to make trades? Is that a coincidence? It's not necessarily. Sometimes the best time to do trades is on the opening. It depends on what you're after. If you're looking to create a call, like write a call or buy back a call, it works either way. There are times that you get mid-market, midday shenanigans that happen, or major news announcements, something breaks overseas, can affect the market at any time. So, Nicholas, there are those who say the first hour is the most important hour, and there are others who say the last hour is the most important hour. Well, I guess it depends whose side you're on. I have written 4 put contracts already on Rocket Lab, SoFi, and BKSY. NTPC, way to go. You are working it. The Credit Savage. Yes, sir. I'm going to buy back my Matterport $20 calls today. Sold them last Friday for a lot. To pay you. Your Matterport is paying you to do what you're doing, to hold it and work it. And this is exactly it. You can do this on GameStop. You can do this on other stocks, but on Matterport now, we're getting up to the point where you can write 22s, 25s, 20s. Yes, there's opportunities here. Snap, says NTPC. Snap right there. Yes, way to go, you guys. I just love it to see this and hear this. I can't wait for Rocket Lab to go to about $18-20 because I want to hear a whole bunch of you going, I wrote those puts at 9 and they're trading at 3. I'm loving this. Yeah, baby. And when SoFi hits 22 to 25 a share, oh, my calls are doing so well. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Good news coming. We just got to wait it out. Just wait it out. Choppy Wi-Fi attacked my uncle. Yeah, I'm in a hotel, and I'm having to deal with same crappy Motel 6 Wi-Fi. Vash, the bagel hour is the only hour to watch. After that, I stopped caring about the market. I don't care anymore. We're down 505 on the Dow. Down 71 on S&P. We're down 320 on NASDAQ. Jen took good care of me this morning, got me a bagel. She's having a little bit of tea right now. We're just relaxing and watching the day go by and see what it's going to bring us here. Come on, stocks, let's go. Somebody must have put a quarter in that bed. Those Motel 6 beds, they take quarters and they vibrate. Man. By the way, here in Canada, we have the election tonight. The two parties, the Conservatives and the Liberals, are virtually tied at the polls. Virtually tied. But where the Liberals lead in the polls in the certain areas of the country and where the Conservatives lead in the certain parts of the country, the reality is that the Liberals will get more seats in the Parliament. And so they'll be the majority government with most of the seats, but they won't have a majority of the seats. So we're going to have tonight a minority government. That is the guess, which we've had for the last 3.5 years. We're going to get another minority government. Now, for Republicans and Democrats, this is unthinkable. But if you had a third party in America that was ultra-left, ultra-right, or whatever it was, and it scooped up 10% of the seats in the House of Representatives, and then you had the Democrats and Republicans sitting there with 41% of the seats each, or 46% of the seats each, and you had a third party getting the rest, can you imagine that one party would be a kingmaker? Can you imagine the deals that they could cut with the Dems or the Republicans to give them majority? Can you imagine the deals? Well, that's what's happening in Canada. It happened the last 3 years. Now it's happening probably again. This is where the NDP comes in. This is where Singh comes in. Jagmeet Singh. His group can put the Liberals over the top with majority votes. They don't become part of the Liberal Party. They're still independent, but they vote with the Liberals on certain bills. And of course, the bills are tailored so that it makes the NDP happy. And so, for the last 3.5 years, Canadians have generally been rather happy with how it's going from a federal point of view, because no one person can dominate the House of Commons with their agenda. You have to compromise. You got to compromise. You got to go to the other side of the aisle. Canadians kind of like that. And so here things are working. It's crazy, but it's in a pandemic. But it works in Germany. It kind of works in Italy-ish.
Works in Britain, of course.
Britain happens this way all the time. Britain right now doesn't have a majority government, though. I believe Boris Johnson has a majority vote, but
I don't mind it at all.
We don't mind minority governments. We really don't.
It makes them explain more, and it makes them pay attention to things they might not normally pay attention to. It's not necessarily their platform.
A big platform here is what's called the daycare vote.
Oh, yeah.
The Liberal government has proposed $10 a day daycare for Canadians coast to coast.
And why is that? So that women can afford to go to work. Women can afford to go to school then. They're very
hugely popular.
Feminine centric. Yeah.
Hugely popular among Canadians. $10 a day daycare, subsidized by the government.
Yeah.
All taxpayers.
Yeah.
Will subsidize the nation's children.
It takes a village.
Because it puts a lot of females into the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
That generates more tax revenue, more economic activity. Fewer women needing government assistance to get by on because they can do it themselves. Yeah, the government's assisting the women through childcare, but we'd rather make that investment and have the children in organized facilities because they can get preschool skills. Good thing. Subsidized meals. No, they don't have. They get good food, nutrition, health care, education. Kids go to grade 1, grade 2. They're on their way. They're rolling. Down the road, that adds up.
Yeah.
You go down 20 years, these kids who started in the daycare are now going into university with a solid foundation underneath them all the way.
Well, or into the next vocation.
It's a long-term investment. Yeah, they become tomorrow's plumbers, electricians, computer operators, lawyers, judges, cops.
The children see a future for themselves.
And the moms get to fulfill their dream of economic reality.
And getting the hell away from their kids.
Get away from their kids for a little while during the day. Mama getting a break.
So you don't
hanging out with adults instead of kids all day long. That's a good thing. And then, of course, the women out there are economically vibrant, and they're buying a new car. They're getting a house. They're getting furniture. They're, can buy the kids their own clothes. I mean, yeah, this is a good thing. We're prepared to invest in that up here.
Yeah.
The government of Canada is saying the time has come.
And all the parties have some kind of...
Well, the Conservatives don't. The right-wingers don't. The right-wingers don't want any part of that. They want to give tax breaks to people.
Right.
Well, tax breaks to well-to-do people is great, but a tax break
if you're poor.
Tax breaks to somebody who doesn't earn $30,000 or more a year is meaningless.
Yeah.
Let's see. I paid $1,000 in tax. It cost me $5,000 a year for my kid to be looked after. You're giving me a $500 tax credit for my $5,000 cost to the child. Ain't going to work up here. It's not going to happen. And the ones that you want the most to get the service are the poor. And so that's why you have the $10 a day daycare program that covers every child. And there's complete equality.
Rising tide raises all boats.
Rising tide raises all boats. That's the thinking here. And that's why one of the reasons why the Liberals are likely to get reelected. They will deliver on this promise, and then they will ride the next election on having delivered on it. And they'll get a majority probably.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We don't know.
Oh, some new shit will happen.
Some new crap will happen. Ah. Oh my God. Let's see what else is going on here. What else is going on? Preach it, Jen, says Adventures with Duncan.
That's right.
Sit next to Bruce, says Adventures with Duncan. Bruce,
Do
you
want
need to
first
say,
time?
Bruce, you need to say ladies or women, not females. Oh my gosh, I can never get it right. No matter how there's never a
You
right.
just have to really stop calling everybody guys.
I'm just trying to be careful.
How about if you just call everybody gals for a while and see how that sits on your tongue?
No mercy, anywhere. Not here, not out there.
At least he's pointing outside and not to the bedroom.
No mercy. We might be homeless, but that doesn't mean I don't get picked on and I don't get beat up. I have scars.
I don't think the two are attached.
I have bruises.
I don't think so.
I can show you bruises.
I think I have more moving bruises.
Moving bruises.
Yeah. Oh, did you tell me we went to the storage unit?
No, I didn't.
Oi, 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 oi. Yeah.
We have items that are
More than
unaccounted for.
anticipated.
We have items, we know we have them. We just don't know quite where they are.
Oh no, we know where they are. They're in the storage unit.
We know that. They're in the storage unit.
Jeez.
But when you have a 10 by 15 foot storage unit packed to the roof,
Yeah.
you can't get into the back corner. You can't walk in it. You have to move boxes to get in it. You start moving boxes, other boxes start to fall because it's a big pyramid in there. It's a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
When we were in there on Saturday, we were making moves on Saturday before my root canal. We went up there, thank God.
Not gonna do it after.
Oh God, no. And we were up there for 2 hours. And we found stuff. Oh, don't get me wrong. We did find stuff, but not all the
Just
stuff.
not what we were looking for.
Not
It's
necessarily
like, oh,
exactly.
hey, look at this.
No.
And so far, I've only found 2 boxes of things that were supposed to be donated that we moved.
We were
Every
able
time
to
we moved.
we were able to
Stuff.
donate some of our leftover stuff from our pantry to the food bank. I got that done Saturday morning.
Yeah. But I have a box of clothes and a box of lighting fixtures that we brought with us. So we'll donate them here. Ay, ay, ay.
Oh man. We got out of Creston fairly well organized. About 95% organized. But that final 5%.
That final 5%.
Oh my
That's
God.
the killer. Oh, man.
SPIR is doing that thing again.
That thing?
That goes up and down and up again. Yep,
You know
1302
that thing they do?
down 69 cents. Yeah.
You doing that thing.
She's singing. Here we go. Julia, here's a nightmare. Give me a second.
We don't want nightmares. Nightmares are bad. It's daylight. Open your eyes.
Oh boy. Julia says, in the California Bay Area, I've had to pay $2,400 plus per month
Yes.
for childcare for my 2 kids
Yeah.
while I work.
Yeah.
That's cheap here. People pay $1,800 a month for 1 kid all the time. It is insane.
I know. So you end up, after you finish working, plus women have a pretty tax. We spend more money to go to work than men do. Like, you end up making $20.
Listen to that. It's exactly right.
We have a pretty tax.
We have a pretty tax.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Frumbler says, I got 100 more SoFi 1469. Nice going. Nice. Let's see here. In the USA, we need 100 more AOCs and many less Ted Cruzes and MTGs. They're crazies. We need a universal health care and basic income. It's an investment. Why wouldn't you want to help people? I agree. You lift all boats, and you lift your economy, your nation's economy, to places you cannot believe. Yeah. But try to convince those who have it to give up something for those who don't. It's rather difficult.
Hard. It's very hard.
There are those out there who are very powerful, who have assets, who make sure to get certain people elected that will keep it that way. And there you go.
But the rule is, the more you have.
Oh my goodness. Oh, here we go. Trying to get this to work. I'm okay with gals. Let's all be gal pals.
We can all be gals.
Will Forte used that on his show, The Last Man on Earth. He replaced guys with gals.
Yeah.
That show's hilarious. It was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Rudy, hey, Uncle B, when is ATIP set to announce a new CEO? I don't know. Sitting on February 22, calls deeply in the red and wondering if I'm screwed here or what. I don't know. My guess, real soon. Like, real soon. It's been over 5 weeks. It's soon. They're not going to wait a year or 6 months. It's soon. But I can't tell you what that means. Rudy, I wish I could be more specific. If I could, I would, but I can't. Bill, investing in young children pays back much more over generations. Exactly.
Up your education budget, down your penal budget.
Yeah, that's right. Cut prison costs, increase education budgets. Watch the difference. Wow.
See, if only they let me rule the world, everything would be fine.
It'd be fine.
It'd be fine. So all those Ted Lasso fans, happy they won big at the Emmys last night.
Ted Lasso, done good.
Yeah.
We don't get it. We don't have Apple TV.
Well, we saw the first 2 seasons. Is that what we've seen? Yeah.
To our daughter.
And
We have to get together
Sex
with her.
Education started on
Sex Education started. That's right. We got to watch that again.
the season.
We have to get together with our daughter to watch the latest Ted Lassos. Because
Yes.
she's got Apple TV before we leave town.
Or
Yeah.
maybe she could just give us her password.
Now, Jen.
If she trusted us. I don't
Credit
know.
Savage says, funny how services are communist to conservatives when it helps the poor, but when it helps the rich, it's a stimulus.
Yeah.
So when you give money to the airlines to survive tough times, that's protecting jobs. But you give money to people for daycare, that's ridiculous.
But you look at what it was in Cayman that has a small, 35,000 people population, and they have a nationalized airline. But they have that so they can evacuate the island during hurricanes.
That's right.
So yes, they pay anything they need to keep their airline. But in the rest of the world, they don't normally have that kind of imperative.
Well, it's funny because in the Cayman Islands, when we lived there, the airline, Cayman Airways, was owned by the government, the people of the islands.
Yeah.
Now, there were 35, 40,000 of us at the time. Today, there's about 65,000 people on the island. I would say of the 65,000, 40,000 are foreigners who work there, expatriates like we used to. And the airline runs regular services, and it more or less breaks even. It makes a little money, it loses a little, but it breaks even most of the time. And that's good enough for the government of the country. They lease the planes. They don't own them. They lease them. In other words, they rent them. They have them painted, And then they make deals with Delta and United and American. They make deals with the United States government through the airline agency to allow American planes to land in Cayman and allow Caymanian planes to land in America. This is open skies done, and then Jamaica, Cayman, and other countries. But when it comes to hurricanes coming to the Cayman Islands, because the Cayman Islands knows that every once in a while, every decade or so, we got to deal with something. They have their national airline with 3 airplanes that they have dedicated that they can use 24/7 to evacuate the vulnerable children, mothers and children and the elderly off the island. And they have places in the States they can take them to, all pre-negotiated, all contracted whenever needed. They can also, in a moment, charter aircraft to get people out, because a hurricane doesn't move at 100 miles an hour. It comes up 4, 6, 8, 12 miles an hour. You know, in 4 days, we're going to get hit, 3 days, 5 days. You have days to get people out. So you bring these planes in on an emergency basis, hour after hour, evacuating as many people from the island as possible. And over 4 or 5 days, you can get thousands, tens of thousands out on a very highly organized flight pattern. You can get tens of thousands of people out. And that's one of the national priorities of the island. They can afford it because the banking center in the Cayman Islands is the 3rd largest in the world. So, yeah. This bagel's good. I'm almost done. So good. Test donkey. I should start paying a pretty tax. Amy is the only one up on my dashboard. It's up 20 cents. Oh, the irony. ATIP is down a half a penny. It's so close to making the turn. So close. The Dow's still down 506. Oh, that's funny. Rocket Lab down 93 at 1448, coming up a bit. SoFi down 28. It's coming up a bit at 1481. GameStop down $6. It's not coming up at the moment. Spire down 81. Oh my gosh. IBM's only down 26 cents. It looks like it wants to go positive here. That might turn the Dow. That might turn the Dow. We'll keep an eye on that. The irony. Boy. Uncle Bruce, thoughts on writing the following. Rocket Lab, April 22, $20 put at $9. Thumbs up. Spire, February 22, $20 put at $10. Good idea? Spire. $12.9, $13 a share approximately, writing $10 again. Yeah. Thumbs up. Yeah. I'd look into those. Orangutan says, Jen, I would be a free intern for you as ruler of the world.
Oh, okay.
Emmy's creeping up. Here we go. Let's see. Emmy up 20 cents. I'm trying to read nothing but business comments only. Easier said than done. But it is election day in Canada. I can't hide that. It is election day in Canada. Anyway, there you go. Finally jumped into Goldman Sachs. Been watching it for quite a while, says HD28 Girl. But NTPCs. But you read Credit Savage's political comments. You're so biased in here. Well, I definitely am not a very right-wing conservative. There's no doubt about that. I just try to kind of go with common sense. But one person's common sense is another person's yell for war. So what are you going to do? It is what it is. Can't make everybody happy. I just do the best I can with what little I have. Emmy's up 20. Go higher, Emmy. Please go higher. Go to 1250 so they will stop yelling at me with their 1250 contracts. Please, please, please go higher. I really want it to go up. Then they'll be happy. I want people to be happy. Please be happy, people. The Dow's down 458, a little better. S&P down 65, NASDAQ down 292. I have survived a bagel. I have not injured myself eating a bagel, but it took a long time today to do that. Doing the best I can with what little I have. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Read his, and it's okay, but skip over mine. Wow, anti-PC. She's angry at me. A lot of people are angry at me. They're always angry at me. We need SoFi to hit 20 early November so our contract can print money. It's unfair. It's BS. My fiance said I couldn't have any dip and put me on a diet. All right. Bruce, have you ever heard of Newson Motors? Yeah. Being touted as a combination of Tesla and Ferrari. Stock's been on a tear recently with the EPA giving them the highest range on a single charge of 520 miles versus Tesla's 415. Now, Rudy, I wouldn't be surprised if Lucid has certain stats that just work out better for it. But no way am I interested in the stock. No way am I interested in the investment. But yeah, interesting electric cars, really. Don't worry, be happy, says Eventual Duncan. Aaron is sad face. Matt, thank you for these emojis. Tasty Donkey. Uncle Bruce, I have started selling weekly AMD calls for hundreds of bucks a piece. With that money, I'll be buying more shares in AMD, which I will then sell calls on. There's no way this can go, up. Look, if you've got the cash and you buy the stock with cash and you start writing options on stocks you own for cash, that's how you get richer. And that's why hedge funds exist. They do this all the time, and they do it very well. And I encourage you to keep moving forward. And GM says, I have 4 Matterport $12.50 February 22 calls at an average of $3.90 each. Would it be wise to sell 2 in order to buy 100 shares and sell covered calls, or ride all 4 closer to expiry? There you go. Well, they're 12.50, so they're well in the money now, thankfully, happily. Stock's at $20.92. You're about $8-something in the money on each. You got 4 of them, so I'm really happy for this. I love this scenario. You're in this position where, yes, you could sell, some of these for cash, or sell them all, or roll over. Not that you need to do a rollover. You're in really good position here. These 12.50s are showing is a bid ask at the moment, and stock's $20.96 on the day, down $1.30. Low was $20.35, and just sitting around here. I mean, if you sold all 4 of them, for example, you would bring in about $3,400, something like that, or better than that if you can get closer to the offer. I mean, if you can bring in, $4,000 or put together 4,000 or 4,200, you could buy 200 shares. Now you can write 2 contracts at a time, and now you're on the other side of the option market, which I think is where you want to be. The beauty of being on the other side of the market now is that time is your friend, not your enemy, and you don't have to be correct with a stock move to make money. You can be, you could even be wrong. You can write like 2250 contracts, because the stock right now is at 20.97. You could write 2250s, and the stock goes up to 2225, and the contracts are still worthless. You can still win, beautifully, even though the stock went up when you wrote a call against it. So if you can afford to move into a couple of hundred Matterport and now start writing calls rather than waiting for this move, to now risk movements like this, you want these kinds of moves to pay you rather than hurt you. So if you write 2250s today, or 20s today, or next week you write some, and the shares drop off a couple of dollars, you're now cheering rather than crying, because you don't want to be, down to $6 a contract. You'd rather have $3 contracts become $1 contracts, or 250s become 125s, and you're buying them back, and then you're rewriting when they go up again, and you buy them back, and you're now becoming a swing trader from a position of strength by having the shares in your possession. That would be my suggestion. So yeah, make the move into stock, sell all of them, because if the stock goes up $5 a share, you're going to make $5 a share in your 200 shares. And you'll roll over contracts if you get caught. If you write 2250s, the stock goes to 25, you'll buy your 2250s back. You'll write 2750s out further out. You'll get all your money. You'll roll it over, and you'll win on both ends. You'll win on the stock move, and you'll eventually win on a stock plateau when options crap out. You'll win again and again. So I would make the move. Yeah, nicely done. Nicely done. I love these. I love these win stories. This is great. I just love it. Well, let's see. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna try to not highlight contact between people. I prefer that to be done elsewhere. Let's see. Smoothbake says, Rudy, $9 for that Rocket Lab put is a bit low. The last one sold for $9.85, so the Jans go for $9. So take a look at April's. Maybe you can get closer to 10 on those. Keep an eye open for that. Don't know if you can, but keep an eye. Let's see here. We're still down on the Dow now. 485, down 66 on S&P, and down 295 on NASDAQ. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, folks, please calm down. Please calm down. Let's just keep it to the comments, to the market, please. I don't want to make you guys mad at each other. I don't want you making mad at me. It's the little easier said than done, but what can I say? Let's just play Yoko. That's it. Play Yoko, says Matt. GM, thank you, GM. Yoko will make all the stocks go higher. Sir Uncle B, someone, I need to respond. It's okay. Just, calm down. April's are around $10 now that Rocket Lab, on that Rocket Lab $20 put. So if any of you are going to write that call or that put option for April, or whatever, you can get more than 9. Keep an eye for that. Okay. See what happens. What's going on here? Coming into the last few minutes of today's morning show. Thanks for tolerating me today, and welcome to Election Day in Canada. What can I say? Rocket Lab coming on. It's down 84 cents at 14.57, but it's definitely picked up here. We were as low as 14.03 a little while ago. We're now 14.57, so that's looking a little better. Hopefully it'll keep going. SoFi down 31 cents. GameStop is at 199.17, down 5.80. Matterport down $1.50 to 20.75. ME up 8 cents, still holding a bit of a gain at 8.42. Smart Rent down 70. Spire down 52 at 13.19. ATIP down 4 cents. Cyxtera down 9. IBM down 49. The Dow down 517. Royal Caribbean down 94. Goldman down 15 at 376. Low of the day for Goldman, 375. It's still a bargain, offering bargain opportunities. What can I say? Thank you all for hanging around with me today. I do not understand writing puts. Well, if you think a stock's going up, you want to write a put. That's as simple as that. So you look at stock like SoFi. If you think SoFi in the next 6 months can go up from where it is now at $14.78, you might write a put contract at $15. And the put contract is good until December, let's say. A SoFi put contract good till December. What would that go for? Let's take a look here. SoFi options. Let's see if we can get this to pop up for us. Here we go. December 2021. Let's see if we got this working. There we go. And we'll go over here. We'll do that. Okay, so a $15 put contract on SoFi trades between 198 and 205. Let's just call it $2. Well, if you were to create and sell by writing a put contract, you are pledging in the for $2 coming into your hands. You are offering to buy this stock, SoFi, for $15 a share until December the 17th. But you get $2 up front. In effect, you can use that $2 to buy this $15 stock. You need $13 of your money. So for $13 a share, would you be willing to buy SoFi for $13 until December 17? Because if you feel that the stock can go to $17 or $18 between now and December, the bank charter's coming, other good news maybe, better market momentum, anything. If you think that the market will go higher than 15, you're never going to have to buy the stock at $13. You'll never be buying it at 15. If it stays over 15, the put will never get exercised. It will expire in December, worthless. It'll have zero value, but you get to keep the $2. So you're prepared to pay $1,500 for 100 shares. Well, here's $200 in cash to make that commitment. And realistically, you're only committing $1,300 of your dollars if you have to buy the stock at 15 a share if it doesn't go over 15 between now and December. There's the deal. That's how you write a put. Now, you could write a $12.50 and you'd only get about 85 cents for those because that's out of the money a ways. You could write a $17.50, which is in the money. You're committing to pay $17.50. Someone will give you $3.75 a share if you were to pay $17.50 a share for SoFi until December. Well, if you take $3.75 away from $17.50, you're at $13.75. So you'd be paying $13.75 a share. If the stock doesn't go higher than $17.50, you'll have to pay that kind of money. Now, if the stock is at $15 December, the $17.50 will be exercised. You will have to pay $2.50. You'll have to pay $17.50 for the stock, less the $3.75 you've got, which makes it $13.75. So you paid $13.75 for the stock, but it's trading at 15. You're up $1.25. You still made money, even though the stock didn't go higher than $17.50 a share. That's the beauty of writing a put. You're getting a premium for this deal. Of course, if the stock goes to $18 a share by next January, sits there, these contracts are worthless. You keep all $3.75 a share to commit to buy stock for $1,750. So you have to put up $1,750 in cash to make a return of $3.75 against it. Well, that's a nice return on your money. That's more than 20% on your money between now and January, or now in December, I should say, if the shares go higher than $17.50. That's the deal. Now, anytime between today and December 17, you can buy back your put contract at what you paid for it, if that's where it's trading at. If it's trading lower, you can buy it back lower. If it's trading higher, you can buy it back higher. You can get out anytime you want. So if you need your $1,500 or your $1,750 that you have pledged and you have put up as margin against this put, you need that money for something, you have to buy your put back. And then you can have your $1,750 and do what you want with it. Obviously, if the shares are $14.78 and they stay at $14.78 for a month and now you need to get out, these puts will not be worth $3.75 anymore. They'll be worth less than that because time will have eaten up some of the value here. But you might only be up 50 cents a contract at that point, but you're still up $50 a contract. The ultimate, of course, is if the shares have a run in the meantime. They have a little pop. So good news comes out, the stock goes to $21, takes a shot. And you're sitting there going, I don't think it's going to hold that. It might come back to 18, but it went to 21. At 21 right now, well, at 21, that $17.50 put is out of the money. No one's going to make you buy stock at $17.50 if they can get people to buy the 21. It's trading at 21. your contract has no value other than time. It might be worth $1. You can buy them back for $1. Buy one back for $1, and you scored $2.75 net profit to you. You sold them at $3.75. You're buying them for $1. Yay! That's how you make money. So if you're a bull and you think a stock is going higher, you want to write puts. The day you want to write puts is when the markets are down, because you want the stock to be a rebounder right away. And you've written puts, and immediately as the stock starts rising, those put contracts drop in price, which is good for you because you want to sell them high and buy them low. That's what you want. So, of course, if our friends at Rocket Lab or SoFi, or for example, SoFi today, were as low as $14.54, if you wrote a put down there, the stock is now $14.83. It's come back 29 cents already. The put's probably dropped in value $0.10 already. You're already up $0.10 on this stuff. But if SoFi in the next 3-4 days or weeks or months, but in the next week or two, pops to $16.50, $17, you're a happy camper. Because those puts you wrote, whichever ones you wrote, will drop in value because they're further either out of the money or they're not in as much in the money anymore. That's how it works. All right. W. Walters just popped in to give you a thumbs up. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, W. Walters. Rudy, Uncle Bruce, before you leave us, what is needed for Cyxtera to start going up? Seems unable to get past the 950 range. Cyxtera probably is doing what ATIP has already done. I think Cyxtera is negotiating multiple deals right now with multiple sellers to acquire for Cyxtera additional server farms. I think that's what Cyxtera is up to. I think Cyxtera is going to grow its business by acquiring more server farms to put into its umbrella of server farms. That's what's going to move the market, because I don't see the company necessarily diluting itself by issuing a ton of stock. I see the company using the cash they have already on hand from all this merger with the SPAC, but they also, I think, will raise cash by doing bond offerings. And they'll raise money at 2%, 2.5% interest. That's it. And they'll buy server farms that bring them 12, 14% returns. And there's your difference right there. They'll bring the server farms into their existing family of server farms. They might acquire a company that has 20 server farms and buy the whole company, merge it into their company, adding 20 server farms to their 61 that they've got. Now they're at 81. And they'll only issue bonds to do the acquisition, which means no new shares get issued to anybody. There's just as many shares outstanding after the deal as before the deal. But after the deal, the cash generated by the 20 additional server farms flows into the bank account of Cyxtera. Any earnings that come out of there flow into Cyxtera. And I think stock analysts will go, hey, the company just grew by a third. They're a third more valuable now than yesterday. The stock can easily go up a third just from this deal alone. And that might create a bit of a buy wave to take the stock into the 1250, 1350 neighborhood, setting them up for their next acquisition. And I think you're going to see Cyxtera systematically buy additional server farm operators around the world. Every so many months, they'll buy another one and another one and another one. And some of them are $10, $20 million acquisitions. Some are $50 to $100 million acquisitions. There might be one someday they do a deal that's a $400 million acquisition. They're just going to do this on a systematic basis and grow their footprint. And that's how they're going to become a larger and larger company. And that's just going to make you richer and richer and richer. And the shares can reach 20, 30, 40, 50 a share over time because they'll generate that kind of cash flow that will generate that kind of pricing. Now, could Cyxtera be a takeover target? Yeah, we could. If they reach 150 server farms, 200 server farms, you never know. Maybe Google will come calling, or IBM, or Cisco, or you name a million different software companies and cloud computing companies. They might come up to these guys and say, "Yeah, you got 250 server farms around the world. Would you be willing to take $80 a share to take a hike?" Yeah, maybe. You never know. Stock's well under, what is it, 10 something? It's under 10. There you are. Publicly traded company, $9.21 a share, down 14 cents today. That's what I think's going on. That's my opinion of what I think's going on. Cheer up. It's buy the dip day. I'm the kiss of death in the market. Every time I buy security, instantly down. Goldman stocks is down $25 since I got in. It's even better now. That's the best thing about it. I'm into buy the dip jail. Oh gosh, what else is going on here? The Rocket Lab $22 puts for April can be had for $11.60. That is nice. Over 50% return on investment. So if you write an April Rocket Lab 22 put contract, you'll bring in $11.60 a share in cash. So you're on the hook for $10.40. Is that right? No, $11.40? $10.40. Yeah, it would cost you $10.40 to buy Rocket Lab until April. That's a great put to write. I agree. That's a really good put to write. I agree with that. Jake, the credit savage, credit coach, right wingers hate leftists. Never mind. You were agreeing to buy 100 shares of at a strike. You secure the amount of cash it would take to buy the 100. Price goes up, it expires worthless. Exactly. Guys, puts are the reverse of calls. So if you don't understand them, don't buy a right since you'll get hosed. Just learn a bit and more and buy a tiny put to get your feet wet and maybe a stock. There you go. Tokyo, Bruce, laughing out loud. ATIP is a buy the dip. There you go. Covered calls, a reverse of calls. That's true. Anyway, what else going on here? Let's go. I get it. Thank you, Uncle B. You're welcome, Bama Babe. Doing so, Northwest. Dang. So I sold covered calls on the same contract that I had bought a few calls on a few weeks ago. After selling covered calls, it canceled out my calls. Is that normal? So I sold covered calls on the same contract that I had bought a few calls on a few weeks earlier. Yeah, I'm not sure NY how you did that trade. Something is screwed up there, but you did one on one side, then the other, and your net effect is negative. I don't know. Let's see. Trying to avoid these political comments, but there's a ton of them here. Let's see. I can't afford a GameStop cash put, but I'd write 180s any day of the week if I could, set for as long as possible. Those premiums are though the roof as well. Bullish on GameStop, collect your premiums. Exactly. If you're bullish on GameStop, you can write put contracts against the stock. Of course you can. You can write out of the money put contracts on GameStop. You can write 180s, 175s, 170s, 165 out for a month or two or three or four, whatever you want. Yeah, you betcha. You just got to have the money to buy 100 shares if you get called. Anyway, there you go. Let's see. I'm going to keep moving forward here to avoid all these comments. Let's see. Thanks, Uncle Bruce, for all your advice, says Ruby. Could you perhaps consider moderating discussions around politics here, outright banning them? It's getting tedious. Most of us aren't here for that. Thanks. It's partially my fault today. I started it, and this show is almost over because I'm over time as it is now. And this afternoon, I promise we will attempt to not have any politics at all. So just kind of hang in there for me. Sorry about this. It is what it is. So anyway, Sela saying, so to simplify, covered calls are like puts, kind of, except you don't need the 100 shares that you need for a put. Am I understanding correctly? Well, Covered calls can't be written unless you have the stock already. So you got to have 100 shares of whatever you want to write a covered call against. So if you own 100 Gamestop shares, you can write one covered call against your Gamestop. If you have 100 Rocket Lab, you can do the same with that. So you need the shares. You need the 100 shares to write covered calls. All right. If you want to write a put, you need the cash to be able to buy the stock that you're writing the put against. So Rocket Lab, if you're going to write a $20 put contract on Rocket Lab, you feel the stock's going to go up in value. You're going to write a put. You have to put up the $2,000. It's a $20 contract. That's 20 shares times 100 shares, $2,000. You have to put up $2,000 to write a covered, cash covered put on Rocket Lab. Does that make sense? $20 a share times 100 shares is $2,000. You need $2,000 in cash to write a covered, cash covered put contract against Rocket Lab. Now, if it pays you $9 in cash to write the premium, in reality, you now have your $2,000 in this hand, $900 in this hand from having sold this contract. You've got $2,900 in your hand right now, but you only need $2,000 to buy 100 shares if you get exercised to do so. And if you did get exercised, you would give $2,000 of the $2,900 to your broker. Your broker would take it from you, and you would have 100 shares of stock and $900 in cash. Okay? Now, what's the stock trading at? That's the question. If the stock is trading at $16 a share on the day you had to buy the stock, you have a $1,600 stock position in one hand and $900 cash in the other. Combine the two, that's $2,500 in value, right? You could sell the stock for $1,600. It's trading at 16 bucks. So if you did that, you'd have $1,600 cash plus the $900 cash you got for writing the put that in with the $1,600, combine it, you have $2,500. Well, how much money did you have to put up to make this deal go? You had to put up $2,000 of your money, and you've turned it into $2,500. You've made a $500 profit by being exercised, even though the stock's at $16. You've made 25% on your money, even though the stock didn't go high enough to get you out of that option. That's the beauty of a contract that's has such a premium on it. A big, fat, juicy premium on it. Now, if you wrote 10 of them, you want to write 10 Rocket Lab contracts at $20 a piece, you need to come up with $20,000 in cash, which you'll put in your account over here. You will sell or write 10 put contracts, $20 strike price for $9 a piece, bringing in $9,000. You have $20,000 of your money plus $9,000 premium money you just got. That's $29,000 in your account. Stock, but you got 29 grand to do it. Now, if the shares go to $20 a share by when that contract expires, which I think is January or April, when the contract expires and the stock's at 20 bucks a share, assuming, you won't be exercised to buy the stock at 20 bucks a share because it trades at 20 bucks a share. You get to keep the 9 grand you got from the premium all to yourself if you want to. So you got your 20 grand and you got this 9 grand now, and it's all yours, $29,000. You've made $9,000 profit on a $20,000 commitment investment, 45% return on your money. Nice. Now, if the stock does not move at all, it doesn't move. It sits at 14.54. It just sits right there. On the last day of your contract, the contract will have a value, the difference between 14.54 and 20. You take 14.54 away from $20, that's the strike price. You come up with $5.46. That's the value of the contract in real terms. Okay, $5.46. but you got paid $9 to sell it. You keep the change. You have to buy that put back for $5.46. You put up that money to buy it back. You keep the remainder as your profit, and that's a profit of about what is it, $3.60 per contract, $360 a contract. For 1 or 10, it's $3,600 on a $20,000 or $2,000 investment, depending on how many you buy or sell, how many shares you wanted to commit for. Makes sense? It's a 15% return, still not bad for 4 or 5 months. Not bad. That's how this works. That's why these are so can be so very popular. A few weeks ago, Bruce, I bought 3 1750 October 15th calls. Today, I sold 11 covered calls, 1750 October 15th, on my own stock. Afterward, my 3 calls disappeared, and I don't see all 11 calls. Do you see 8 calls? Do you now have 8 covered calls instead of 11 covered calls? Because that would probably be the net effect of it. I'm assuming that's what this is. Let me know about that. That would be so great, says NTPC. Trust. Okay, never mind. Let's see here. Let's see. I get it, Sheila. I get it. Wow, you're amazing. Thank you. You're getting it now. This is what the lessons are all about. The lessons that I've made. I show you actual examples of how this works. That's why the lessons are so popular on my website, stockmarkerswithbruce.ca. Okay, check them out if you want. Let's go. Why is it called to go short when you sell a call? Well, you own 100 shares, okay? You have them. And now you are writing a call option against those shares. All right, so let's say it's GameStop. GameStop's $196.49. You have 100 shares. You're going to sell a $200 call option against it, all right? You are pledging your stock to someone out there at a set price for a set period of time. And let's say you pick the price of $200 and the time frame is this Friday. So you're saying to the buyer of the call, you buy this call from me, you can buy my stock from me at $200 a share until Friday afternoon. Well, you're pre-selling your stock, or you're potentially selling your stock at $200 a share. But of course, the person will give you money up front right now for that privilege. They might give you $5 a share, or $4 a share, $6 a share. So you bring in, say, $500. I'm making up a number. Say you bring in $500 right now. So you've been given $500 to offer up your stock at $200 a share until Friday afternoon. If the shares stay at $196.75 or they only go to $199.99, no one is buying your stock from you at $200 a share. They're trading $199.99. Why would they buy them from you for $200? You get to keep the whole premium. You have, in effect, put your stock up for sale for 4 days, 4.5 days at a set price, and you got paid a premium to do it. That's the deal. And some people call that a short sale. They think that's selling stock short. Well, you're pledging to sell the stock, but at a price that you choose. Now, if you want to write a 190 contract for this Friday, you're gambling that the shares will drop $6 from where they are now, because they're 196.53. They got to go down 6.53 for your contract to be worthless. But they're worth 6.53 right now because the stock's 6.53 in the money. It's 6.53 higher than 190 a share. So you're probably going to get $12 a share for this contract, maybe $10 a share for this contract. The 6.53 plus about $4 of time value, $1 a day for the next 4 days. But Thursday afternoon, the stock's at 196.53. Thursday afternoon, hasn't moved a bit, gone up and down, but it's right there. You could buy that call back, and it might only be trading at 8.53. It's trading at 8.50. You sold it for 10.53. You're buying it back for 8.53. You made $2, and you're off the hook for that deal. So, the beauty of writing options: let the clock expire your contracts down. Hey, Uncle B, what would you say to a good price point would be for February 22 calls on Spire? What would be a good price point for Feb 22 calls on Spire? Let me see if I see this. Hang on a second here. There's Spire. What would be a good price point? Let's take a look at what this market tells us. I'll do it the easy way. Spire is now $12.98 a share on the open market. And let's see if I can get this to reload properly. My options went down. So a $22 February call on Spire, I'm guessing now, stock's at $13. So you're out of the money. $9.50. I don't know if they'd be worth $1 right now, if they'd have $1 value or not. A good price point to be, yeah. I wouldn't look to be buying them. I wouldn't be buying them. I wouldn't be writing them either. Really, I wouldn't be doing anything with them. Let's see. Jake says, Robert, when you sell the call, you want the price to stay flat or go down, so you're short. There you go. Let's see here. Price to stay flat or go down. Thank you for that. Some folks have it wrong, says Credit Savage, and assume that writing puts is bearish. But that's not right. Nothing is more bullish than a cash secured put. Yeah, you actually are betting that stock will go higher during the time you're short that put contract. Okay. Can I write a covered call that will protect me from my wife after she finds out what happened today? Do they offer a covered husband by chance? Not sure about that one. I don't know. Let's see. ME is making moves, says Drops. 852 up 18 cents. Go, baby, go. How is the Rocket Lab $22 for $11.20 a better deal than the 12.5 for $3.90? Yeah, I'm guessing you're asking me about writing a put contract, Rocket Lab 22 for $11.20. I'm guessing that. And I'm guessing that is an April contract for next year. Is that what we're talking about here? So it's $11.20 with the Rocket Lab at $14.74. You'd be bringing in $11.20 to commit to buy it at $22 a share. Is that a better deal than 12.5 for $3.90? So if you wrote the $12.50 put and brought in $3.90, you'd be paying $8.60 a share. Is that right? Yeah, you'd be paying $8.60 on the 12.5, or on the 22, you would be paying $10.80 a share, right? So how's one a better deal than the other? Each is its own unique instrument. The 22 at $11.20, you're basically suggesting that you think the shares will go closer to the 20 mark than anything else or higher, and you're prepared to take in $11.20 and you're looking to buy back the contract for maybe $3 or $4, and you're looking to lock in about a $7-8 profit. On the $12.50, you're out of the money already because the stock's at $14.32, so you're only going to get $3.90. But if you were to be exercised, you'd only have to be paying the $8.60 price to get it. Nothing wrong with this, with either trade. There's nothing wrong with either trade, but one brings you a big fat balance. The problem is that you have to put up $2,200 to bring in the $11.20, where on the other one you have to put up $1,250. So one's definitely a cheaper trade to finance than the other one. I don't mind either deal, to be honest. Nancy W is a new member. Welcome, Nancy. You're rolling back in again. I'm glad you're doing it. Glad I'm listening to Uncle Bruce and Molten ignoring chat today. That put knowledge is gold. Right on. Thank you. Drop. I'm just soaking down all of Uncle Bruce's knowledge on options. Someday I'll do options. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Let's see here. Lots of renewing membership today, and I'm grateful. Thank you, everybody. Wells Fargo can discontinue my debit card, so I had to rejoin. I hate banks, says Nancy. Let's see. Why is 23andMe up running today? Don't ask questions. Just don't be doing that. Just say, hey, it's up 17 cents. Yay. Just do that. I don't know. Why are you still here, Bruce? Well, reading comments, getting some good questions, so I figured I'd keep going. Let's see here. High five, pink bagel heads. The calls against wives destroying you are called life insurance, buddy. Oh man. Drops is saying ATIP looks juicy. They're at 30.43 down a dime. They're juicy. Rudy says, thanks, Uncle Bruce and gang. Stepping out now. Responsibilities beckon. We'll be back in the PM today. Stay safe, everybody. You betcha. Brucey, where do you think we go from here on Matterport? I'm considering selling my calls and rebuking later. Thoughts? Well, again, if you sell your calls and cash out, great. Shares back off. You can buy contracts back. Or you could buy the stock if the stock backs off and start writing contract. Thanks for the overtime today, Bruce. Catch you all this afternoon. You got it, Erica. Onion Investing. Uncle Bruce, nice to hear that you're still on. What do you do on those kinds of days? What do you do on these kinds of days? I'm working. I'm doing, this is the first of 4 live shows today. 2 on this channel, 2 on TWB. So I'm going to be off real soon. Don't worry, kids. I'll be off real soon. Let's see. Oh, sorry for leaving out the details. You guessed them out like a pro. The 12.50 strike price will include a wager that's going up, down a bit, and return, and then higher insurance. Yeah, higher. Well, yes, the 22s could have a higher chance of exercise because at the end they may or may not be up there, right? And then you'll score the difference. Sure. I bought my 22.50 expiry October 21 cover call in Matterport. I wrote last week for 150. Bought them back for 115. Not huge, but I'll take it. There you go. One day turnaround. What's wrong with that? Right? There you go. Fantastic. Guys, I'm going to pack it in. Thank you for tolerating us today. I'm sorry about the political stuff, but it is National Election Day in Canada today. What can I tell you? And I'm glad it's over up here. We're doing all we can do. He works hard for the money. So hard for it, honey. There you go. We're up 14 on ME, so we got something green. Something. One thing. The Dow's down 616. Still now at the low of the day. S&P down 85. NASDAQ down 366. So that's what we have right now. It is what it is. I don't know if the Dow will stay this low or whether it'll have a 300-400 point rally. I mean, 500-600 point negative all day. It could be, but it might also run out of gas rather quickly. We'll see. The Chinese government has got, they're the one with their backs against the wall. They've got to figure out and resolve their issue regarding this real estate debacle they've got on their hands. Somewhat self-induced, I would say. So we'll see. Thanks, Bruce, says Smooth Wake. Thank you, buddy. Rob, love you, Uncle B. Stay safe out there in Alberta. You got it. Cheers, Brucey from Mr. T. Jake, thanks, Bruce. Joe, ATIP, December 16, 2025 strike looks good at 80 cents. Excuse me, 80 cents for a December 2022. Yeah, that's right. December next year. Yeah, that does look good. Rob, brick by brick. Good job today, Bruce, says Robert. Well, thank you, everybody. We try. We'll be on at 3 o'clock Eastern right here on this channel. Then we'll be on at 7 o'clock Eastern on Traveling with Bruce and 8 o'clock Eastern Traveling with Bruce. 7 o'clock show is for members only. The 8 o'clock show is wide open to the public. You're welcome to join me. Have some fun. Thank all of you who were able to give me thumbs ups today. If any of you did give me thumbs ups today, I do appreciate it. I see 474 thumbs ups that came in today, and I appreciate that. And if you're able to throw a thumbs up that are in our direction before you pack it in, that would be terrific. Get us a little closer to 500 thumbs ups. I do appreciate it. 479 now are coming in here, 21 away from 500. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, another day in paradise. What can I say? We're going to see how this market fares out. But we'll be back at 3 o'clock this afternoon, everyone, to see what's going on here with this market and whether we're going to be richer or richer. Because, we're just going to get richer. That's all there's to it. Rocket Lab is actually coming on a bit again. It's down 67 cents here, 1474. Yeah, it's definitely better than 1403. I'll take that. So happy to see this. Those puts are probably falling again. But today is a great day to write puts on some of your favorites. Matterport, good day to write puts here. Spire, good day to write puts on Spire. Even ATIP might be, well, not ATIP, but yeah, Spire definitely. Smart Rent maybe. But yeah, we'll take that. Okay, guys, I got to get a break in here. I'm going to get some rest. I'll get ready for my 3 o'clock show. We'll see you this aft, and thank you in the meantime for being here and all your kind words and tolerating a little politics today. We'll see this aft. No politics this aft, I promise. We'll try to make that a rule tonight. We can do it. Push the button. Help Bruce get to 500 thumbs ups. 493 now. We got 493. Thank you, everybody, for 493 thumbs ups already. I appreciate it. Have a great afternoon. I'll see you at 3 o'clock today, and we'll take this market as far as it wants to go. Okay? All right. Talk to you later. Bye for now.